What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, and, of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below. And as we get rolling here tonight, guys, again, one day closer to hopefully securing that second seed, right? And, of course, as we discuss all the news, the info, and the updates here, all the Cowboy adjacent news as well, which, by the way, today it's like extra Cowboy adjacent. I would just at least one particular topic anyway. With that said, though, of course, let me go ahead and shout out the people making FCF happen here on the daily and the nightly. Thank you very much to the sponsor of the week and the membership gifting king, Jason Renfro.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to you. Appreciate you, of course, representing there on both sides of that board. As you can see up above, though, Marco Seppian is the stream boss, holding on with the great 8 Aikman.
Yeah, Aikman 8 points away from someone taking over the Marco Seppian stream boss. And we have the king of the Cash App. You know why he's here, baby.
Snug X.
Back to back, like our 90s Cowboys. He's repping that crown in the Cash App side of things. Much love to Snug X. Will he go for a three-peat? Well, let's see. Because the leader currently is Jason Renfro this week.
Woo.
He's coming for that crown. He's coming from all the crowns, really. Let's be honest. He dropped $1.45 pre-stream Cash App holler. So much love to Jason Renfro once again, as he's extending his overall lead and his Cash App lead right now. He's the leader on the overall board. He's trying to come and get into a streak, like back-to-back, like our 90s Cowboys, on our sponsor of the month, sponsor of the week board. And also, like you said, the gifting king, well, he's up there tied with Bootzilla with 5 gifted memberships each. So he may be almost leading every part of this board. I mean, Aikman 8 gets him the stream boss. So Jason Renfro, a little takeover here for maybe next week and entering the playoffs. We shall see. We shall see. Now, of course, we shout everybody out here on all sides of the board. Appreciate everybody who dropped the love this week so far, this month, this year, etc. But let's also, kind of just quickly talk about a quick commercial break of how you can drop the love here on My Cowboys Family, get in on being on the board and maybe winning some prizes coming soon. So, baby, we got the thanks button. You guys know that. You got the super chats, because we had a pre-stream super chat from the great top dog, Dwayne Broussard. He dropped a $4 holler.
Yeah. His 4 for Dak, right? He said, here we go.
Here we go. Go Cowboys. You know it. And that 4 dropped Mark to 8. So, that's how we got there. So, again, much love to Dwayne Broussard, Jason Renfro with the pre-stream drops. But, you got super chats. You got you can jump into membership. You got gifted memberships. You have the thanks button. But, baby, there's 4 other ways to make your mark here, especially when you look at the Cash App side of things and challenging Snug X for the crown, Jason Renfro for the lead on that side of things. What are the 4 ways?
Of course, you have the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
Yeah. So, again, much love to you guys that do drop the love. And, hey, we also give the shout-outs here to the Top Shelf membership. We got the Navy Blue and the Silver level, too.
But if you're in that star or over everything,
nightly
you get some
shout-outs.
extra special perks like the nightly shout-outs.
Yeah, so baby, who is in these 2 groups here, these membership groups?
Thank you to the star members: Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potch, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and Over Everything, Seabass.
Seabass repping the Over Everything portion of the board. I think we had Snug X as the only other person in that level, the top shelf levels. Thank you guys, and Seabass will be appearing here soon as his ears are slowly getting better and better. So looking forward to his input on our Cowboys as an Over Everything membership level person here. Of course, Over Everything, that means you're also in every star perk you get as well. And one of those star perks coming around the corner is the Star and Over Everything level membership monthly jersey raffle. Another week and a half or 2, and we'll see what happens when it comes to next week. And if you're in the Star level or Over Everything level, you might be getting yourself a Sewn and Stitch jersey right here from My Cowboys Family. So, again, we will keep reminding you guys about this coming playoff time. All right, wild card round, maybe the next round. We'll see. Somewhere around the next couple of weeks, you'll have a Star level Over Everything level membership raffle. Good luck to those in it. If you're in it, you get a chance to win it.
Speaking of in it to win it, Jason Renfro,
Mr.
with
JR.
An $8 holler said, "Let's go Cowboys," and that second seed. As he takes over the stream boss.
That's right.
And so he's repping it on 3 sides of the board currently.
Maybe he's on all 4 sides because he's got the stream boss. He's got a tie right now at the membership board for this week. He's got the lead on the Cash App, and he's got the overall lead. So actually, he's in the lead on all 4 boards. On 3 boards, he's in the lead. One of them, he's tied for the lead. So
Jason Renfro takeover.
Yeah, Jason might want to, he gets one more membership gift, and he's at least up by 1 over Bootzilla. So right now they're tied. Anyways, as we keep it rolling here, baby, who's in the house tonight? Talk some Dallas Cowboy football.
We have the man himself, of course, Jason Renfro.
Yeah.
Dwayne Broussard, the top dog.
Hell yeah.
Griff181, peace to you. Brandon James, what's up? Yeah, he did not come to the Cowboys. We'll talk about that here shortly. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett, stay safe out there on the road.
Yeah.
He's on his way to go watch our Cowboys in
D.C.
Yeah.
Big D coming to D.C.
Mary Alvarez, much love to you. Appreciate you, Choice Roberts. Rolling back, Texas Twister, another one. Stay safe out there on the road. Roy Strassner, hello and hi. Juan Carlos in the house.
Roy Strassner in the house.
Fuego bringing the heat. Take it easy. House Nelson in the house. Devontae Alvarez, what's up? Freedom first, not first. Double R, hello and hi. Looks like Mary Alvarez beat you to the punch.
Mary Alvarez was number 1 on the board
Mahalo
this week.
to Marco Seppi and a big aloha to you.
The man, Marco Seppi, just gave the stream boss over to Jason Renfro for a little bit. I know Mark is in the house. Love the discussions, the back and forth. But hey, we've closed that book on the Lions. It's time to open this book. Let's go forward and see what we got to overcome here against the Washington Commanders. But is it going to be, again, I want to just ask this, is it going to be easier than even we thought in the first place? I hate saying that because people let their guard down. But we as fans will examine the fact that the Washington Commanders, not a lot of weapons on offense. We talked about it yesterday. Yeah. Today we're going to take a look at their defense and how disabled they are. In fact, they're self-disabling themselves to just kind of get their backups in there. Yep, the Cowboys got to win this game and win it early. That's it. Halftime, I want to see a big lead, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't care what the final score is. Just rest our guys and secure the win. We'll talk about this tonight and more right here in my Cowboys family.
Secure the seed. I like that. Secure the seed.
Secure that seed. So, again, aloha to Mark, Skeptical in the house, Rolando Rodriguez, Jason Renfro, Dwayne Broussard, the top, everybody here. Thank you for repping it here with us. That star of everything. And let's get into this thing. All right, let's get into it. You ready? I mean, I'm ready to run right into it. Let's go.
Skeptical fan always thinks skeptical in the house.
Yeah.
And guys, drop them if you got them.
Drop those emojis. The anti-Washington emojis, baby. Let's go. Now, an opponent we had, of course, a couple weeks ago, the Dolphins, Tyreek Hill. His house caught fire yesterday. We talked about that. He got out. His family got out. Everyone's safe. But today was deemed accidental. And it was caused by a child in his house playing with a cigarette lighter.
Shit.
Yeah, so gotta do a better job. Whoever's taking care of the kid at home, because Tyreek was at practice, gotta do a better job. Come on now. Now, listen, a couple pissed off moments here for me. And again, I'm not going to sit here and bitch. I'll say pissed off moments. Just, I guess I expected this, but just a little disappointment, but expected.
I was gonna say, to me, it wasn't like you said. I wasn't surprised at all.
Well, it's not Dalvin Cook, baby. It's Isaiah Buggs.
Oh, well, true.
Isaiah Buggs.
I know that one was the one
he was the guy that I would have liked to see the Cowboys making some fucking effort to get. This guy came from the Lions. We just saw him last week. I mean, he didn't play that much, but he was on his way out. This guy is a Jonathan Hankins clone. Let's just put it that way. As far as a backup, perfect. This is a move the Cowboys should have done. He cleared waivers yesterday, as we discussed, and immediately, basically 10 hours later, signed to the Kansas City Chiefs to their practice squad, which means that, of course, they gave him the basic money there, one game and then playoffs. That's why the Chiefs are a team that make runs at the Super Bowl. Just an example, because Isaiah Buggs is a starter on some teams, as a nose tackle can be, and definitely a good backup to do the Hankins job, because Mozzie can't cut it. And so, to me, this is a missed move by the front office again. But, not the flashy name everyone wants to talk about, because I don't really give a good goddamn about Dalvin Cook. I don't think Dalvin Cook would have made much of a difference here. Clown show on the Isaiah Buggs miss. Just mark my words. Might bite us in the ass. If Hankins gets hurt somewhere, or we need an extra beef in the middle, Mozzie ain't cutting it this year. Next year, maybe. This year, hell no. And we knew this already, and they still decided to turn the other way from Isaiah Buggs, who's just sitting right there as a free agent. So that's a big miss in my mind. The front office, listen, a lot of people are mad. I'm not going to get as mad. I don't get mad about this one. This one is more like, whatever. Former Jets running back, Viking running back Dalvin Cook went unclaimed officially on waivers and literally, immediately became a free agent. You can sign him for whatever you want. He can play for wherever playoff contender he wants to go to. And then the 4-time Pro Bowl running back Dalvin Cook, who's definitely decreased some in the last couple of years, signed officially, like I said yesterday, if you were listening, the Baltimore Ravens was the main team, and then the Cowboys were kind of the due diligence, fucking let's show the star and attract attention team. Well, he got it done. Dalvin Cook signed for the playoffs with the Baltimore Ravens. The Jets paid Dalvin Cook $6.8 million this year. Now he's going to get a chance to basically, for like a bonus, for one game in the playoffs. In the playoffs, he's going to get maybe $1 million. Now he gets to pursue a Super Bowl with the Ravens as they're the number 1 seed. And I'm hearing he will not play this week, obviously, but mainly because they don't need to win this game. They're going to just rest everybody. He's going to have 2.5 weeks to acclimate with the Ravens. So,
for him, I guess.
That might have been part of his decision-making on that move. I really don't care as much for the Cowboys on that. Yeah, if we got him, we would have added another feature, short yardage guy, a guy that can, definitely upgrade our running back stable. But Isaiah Buggs was the big miss. That bugs me. Marco Seppian in the house, kicking it off with the 5 on it for himself tonight. Knocking Jason Redford to 95 points of Jonathan Hankins. We're hoping to see out there this week. What did the man, Marco Seppian, have to say? The first live stream, in-stream, I guess it's the second one, right? Yeah, the second live stream drop. We had the Jason Renfro takeover. Yeah, and Mark, what did he have to say with the 5?
Mr. MCF, Wilt's still the GOAT. Do you think Washington would have traded Chase to us? I think he and Ware with Micah roaming would have been deadly. A definite defensive edge upgrade.
With Ware? You mean Lawrence? You did the Jerry Jones mistake there?
No, I said, do you think Washington would have traded Chase to us? I think he and Ware.
Right. Meaning Chase and Ware?
I think maybe he meant Lawrence.
Okay.
I'm reading exactly what was
I think Mark just did a Jerry Jones for a second there. It's all right. It happens to us too sometimes. But Mark, now that's a great question. I think there's no fucking way in hell that the Washington Commanders would ever trade any of their players, Chase Young or Montez Sweat, to the Dallas Cowboys. To an interdivisional team.
Yeah, at most we trade scraps back and
forth to each other. Lesser players, lesser draft picks. Again, the biggest one was letting the fucking Eagles jump the Giants so we can get the Eagles pick, which is Biotish right now. So, not a bad move from the Cowboys, I would say, for getting Micah Parsons in that draft, right? Anyways, we went down 2 spots. We got Biotish and we got Micah. So, hey, that's worth it. Or was it Biotish? I forgot who it was. It was a lineman that I forgot who it is now. I'll have to go back and check on that. But I thought it was Biotish. Either way, my point is Biotish was a year before that, I think. So, look.
Was it like Matt Waletzko or something?
Was it Waletzko? I don't know.
Honestly,
I'll have to go back and remember. Maybe it was DeRon Bland, which would have been obviously very worth it. I don't think it was him either. Look, it doesn't matter. The point here is there's no way that the interdivisional high-value player would never go, I think, in between divisional teams, especially in the NFC East. That's my thoughts. I don't know. But I hear you there. I do agree. If we get one kind of, I don't know. We could get one more solid edge and kind of give Micah a little more versatility to play linebacker and, as a pass rushing linebacker or blitzing linebacker up the middle with the edges like that. That'd be dangerous. But yeah, they would never trade Chase Young. I don't think so, Mark. And no, Michael Jordan's the GOAT. The GOAT.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. So much love, Mark. Appreciate you. The 5 on it takes Jason to 95. Now, coaches, guys. Yeah, you see the top coordinators in my title. It's interesting today because as the hiring cycle, and this is important for our guys, like our coordinators, like Brian Schottenheimer, like, of course, Bones Fossil, and Dan Quinn, who we know is on the verge of maybe going somewhere else, right? So as the hiring cycle, 1 second, because we got skeptical fans in the house, and he's got that 3s on it right there through the Streamlabs.
That's
so
right.
Appreciate you. I know he's having issues right now with the super chat side,
not sure, but
all good. Skeptical dropping that. Brandon Cooks 1, 2, 3 on it. What did he have to say?
Go Cowboys. Woo.
He had a question mark. No,
it's Cowboys?
Go Cowboys. It's always Go Cowboys, right? Skeptical. Appreciate you, brother.
Sometimes it shows us a question mark when you try to drop an emoji.
Oh, is that?
That's why I just kind of assume it's not actually a question mark.
I'm a little behind on the times.
That's all good.
So again, yes, much love to Mr. Skeptical Fan, as currently he's in second place on the overall board, and right there behind Jason and Bootzilla for that first place spot on the gifting board. So Skeptical's always involved here, but he's also staying skeptical. Much love and go Cowboys. Now
have to with these Cowboys.
Yeah, for sure. You always stay skeptical. Every Cowboys we've had since Jimmy Johnson. Anyways, so the top court. So here's the thing, baby. As the hiring cycle is approaching, NFLPA, the NFL Players Association, asked over 1,700 players to rate all of the coordinators in the league.
Okay.
That they play for. So it's not that they're rating other guys. That the teams they're on, they rate their own guys on a scale from 1 to 10. And when it came to the top offensive coordinators, did we get anybody on that top 5 list? Frank Smith was number 1 from the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
Thomas Brown from the Panthers, believe it or not, number 2. And number 3 was Brian Schottenheimer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a little surprising, right?
Yeah.
You know who's number 4? Brian Callahan from the Bengals. Number 5, Kellen Moore. Oh, wait, what? Brian Schottenheimer got it over Kellen Moore? Holy fuck. This is not about how good they are. It is more about how the players like them. So, the players at L.A. like Kellen Moore, but they also like Brian Schottenheimer, whatever his role is with us, because McCarthy's the one really doing the offensive coordinating when it comes to calling the plays.
Yeah.
But he's the official OC, and he got good ratings from our offense. Sounds like he's a good match with our players. Now, what about the defensive side of things? The number 1 defensive coordinator, the Detroit Lions, Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
Former Jet. We've seen him on that Hard Knocks, and of course we just played him this last weekend. But Aaron Glenn, number 1 defensive coordinator right now by the votes of the players. Yeah. Steve Wilkes, number 2, they are defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
Number 3. Something about number 3. They got Dan Quinn up on there, guys. His players love to play for. We know this. It's just more proof. Hey, you know what? He's the top 3 up there on this list.
The way I see it, it's like Goldilocks. The first one's not right. The first one's to this. The third one is just right.
Brian Flores with the Vikings, number 4, and Raheem Morris with the Rams, number 5. That's the defensive coordinators there. Another top 5 entry for the Cowboys when it comes to the players. Kind of like that. It's not just that they like them, but it's like you want to run through a brick wall for them. We got Schottenheimer and Quinn. Well, what about the last part, the special teams, maybe your favorite part? Bones, is he going to make it? Because he's been loved by a lot of players in the past and other teams, the Rams.
I was going to say, and he has, coached quite a few players on special teams.
Different teams as well.
Over the place, so, yeah.
Number 1 on this list, John Fossil.
Okay.
Special teams coordinator, most loved and respected in the NFL by the players. John Fossil, number 1 with the Cowboys. Number 2, Chris Tabor with the Panthers. Number 3, Matt Daniels with the Vikings. Number 4, Dave Fifth with the Lions. And 5th, Darren Rizzi from the Saints. Interesting here, though. You realize you got a couple, got a couple Carolina Panther coaches. You got a couple Detroit Lions coaches, Viking coaches. But there's only one team that had all 3 top 5, and that's the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
So whether it's
the
Fossil,
point is that by the players themselves, these coaches are obviously connecting with our Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. They're connecting with the players. That's a very important fact there. And another important fact is the rep, Mr. Skeptical Fan, because he just dropped a membership there.
Showing the love by gifting the love.
Yes.
And congrats to Giraffe Lovers.
Whoa. Whoa. Congrats, Giraffe Lovers. I don't know if this is the channel you're looking for, but appreciate you being part of the family.
Hey, even giraffes like the Dallas Cowboys.
I love the name. Yes, hey, we're worldwide. We're species-wide, right? All species. So much love to Skeptical Fan for dropping the gifted membership. Hey, I guess that works through gifting, through super chats here, or I guess gifting membership still works for Mr. Skeptical Fan. And when I look at the board here, baby, he's still in second place. He's still a little bit back on Mr. Jason Renfro, but he's not, he's not too far back on Bootzilla and Jason Renfro on the gifting membership side, where he has 2 in third place, 2 to their 5, Bootzilla and Jason. So we'll see what happens. It continues, right? It continues here on MCF. Right. And it does continue here in MCF because CD Productions is in the membership.
That's right.
Congrats.
Thank you, Jason Renfro.
But because of Jason Renfro, you're in.
Saying, hold up, wait a minute. I can show the love too.
Hey, and that means Jason breaks a tie for first place. Right now, Jason Renfro officially in first place on every part of our boards. officially. Now most of them they're close, and he's got one or two that he's got a little distance, but the man is capturing all the spots here as we get ready to enter the playoffs. So, congrats to Jason Renfro taking a little bit of a lead there on every part of the board. Congrats to CD Productions, CD Pros, for doing their thing here and being in the chat and getting that gifted membership from Jason Renfro as it continues. Of course, Jason's still in first place on the overall board. 92 points on the Stream Boss, Cash App leader, gifting leader, the man Jason Renfro. Maybe that's the good luck charm we need, Mr. Jason Renfro. Bring us into the playoffs after this week. He'll be repping all the boards if that's the case. We shall see. Now, let me get back on track here. We're talking about the coordinators. Just want to finish up. Only one team in the NFL had the players connecting with the coaches on all three coordinating spots on the team. And again, the biggest surprise is Schottenheimer. But again, like we said, number one on this list, John Fossil, when it comes to the special teams coordinators. And then Dan Quinn, third on this list. And also Brian Schottenheimer. That's on the defensive coordinator list. Brian Schottenheimer, third on this list on overall NFL coordinators. So whatever has been going on, it's working. I
think the point is that the offense is clearly on the same page here as well. At least our offense, because I'm going to assume a lot of Cowboy players voted for him.
I agree, and I'm sure.
And obviously, maybe some previous players.
A couple could have, but I think it's supposed to be your own team right now. You're not supposed to cross lines there. So it's just on your own team. That's what NFL players wanted to know. And this is a big plus for, if you get one of these coaches on your team, then these players want to actually play for these guys. Yeah. And they go to another team, or if you keep them on yours. You feel me here, Jerry Jones? So, again, McCarthy even said this about specifically defensive coordinator Dan Quinn. McCarthy said in today's press conference that, again, we had two assistants finish in third, and of course, one finish in first place. But Mike McCarthy said Dan Quinn is a fine human, is as fine of a human I've been around. I think the world of him. So when they asked him about the situation, that was McCarthy's response about Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn will probably be moving on this year. And, unless we get bounced in the first round of the wild card or divisional round, if we get the second seed, if we don't get to the conference championship, this guy's got to go. I think that's going to be the way it's going to be.
I agree. And by the way,
and that way, we can save Dan Quinn in a way to our own team and keep him here if that happens.
I'd rather get a Super Bowl and lose Quinn.
I agree. 1,000% agree.
Want to say goodnight to Skeptical Fan as he rolls out of here. Shout out to you. By the way, he did drop $1.61 holler in the super chat, telling YouTube to go, stick with the sun, no shine, and also go Cowboys.
Hey, he broke through. That's awesome. Yeah, and that'll drop him to about what? From 92 to 90, 91 points on that Stream Boss. Much love, the Skeptical Fan, when it drops. You know what we're going to say. Go Cowboys. Woo. Now, before we get to McCarthy and kind of finish up there, I just wanted to say something when it comes to coaching. Dallas Cowboys today are celebrating their Coach of the Year, like high school Coach of the Year in Texas. You know who it is?
Who? Oh, Jason Witten, maybe?
Jason Witten. Woo. Yes, he won the championship. Again, the Cowboys put out a statement today saying, quote, "From making plays to molding lines, we're excited to announce that the Dallas Cowboys legend and current Liberty Argyle football coach, Jason Witten, is our NFL Don Shula High School Coach of the Year nominee." So congrats to Jason Witten, getting that nominee from the Cowboys. We had nominated other guys here. I'll get to that a little bit later here. And another current player that's actually big comeback for him this year. But when it comes to the Super Bowl, we haven't been back 27 plus years, right? So what are the odds right now? Just the odds of who's going to win the Super Bowl. I'll tell you in a minute. First, there's that drop by a 161 from Skeptical Fan. And appreciate him with the Go Cowboys. I think he's going to take a little nap, right?
Yeah. He's heading out. So let me take a second here and do some shout-outs because we do have quite a few more people in the chat.
Perfect.
James Herr, 6'8", Loon Santos Pale Moon, Haley 94 Ware. Let me see. We got Double R in the house. Brendan James, Pioneer, much love. Frank Moyer representing. I think House Nelson. Drums and Cowboys, much love. By the way, he actually had a pretty good point saying, this is the fourth guy we missed on after clearing waivers. You think these players are going to what they feel are lock-ins for a Super Bowl, or is it the offers by the front office?
I think the Cowboys do due diligence, and then usually, unless it's like their terms, Cowboys' terms are extra cheap, it's the contract. Probably it's almost disrespectful. Probably from the Cowboys. I just don't think we make
serious offers or serious attempts at trying to get these guys.
Like, if we even attempt to, we don't probably don't offer them anything. We just say, we'll check you out. We ask them a couple questions, And that's probably where it ends, just
And
to show that they're trying
my
for the
point.
fan base. And that's where the clown show. That's clown showery right there, right?
Or not even
Clownery.
for the fan base, honestly. At this point, like I do
Yeah.
think it's more of a front office. Like they feel obligated to do it. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to, but like they still have their processes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's why I say that's why. Ooh, that's why I call it a clown show. I'll tell you why in a minute, and you'll see them pop up in a minute. But Jason Renfro, no clown, $2.60 holla in the house.
You know what he said?
What?
Go Cowboys.
No, he didn't. He said, "Yo, Cowboy." Appreciate you,
Darren
Jason.
Posey, what's up?
Darren Posey in the
Tornado,
house.
hello and hi.
Appreciate everybody here with us. Hit that like
Bruce
button.
got the toxic juice.
Don't-
Did someone
Bruce.
say clown show?
Bruce with the toxic juice. Everybody hit that like button for the stream and subscribe if you haven't. We're almost at that 29K. 1,000 away from 30K. So, hey, see what happens. By the way, Jason Renfro, 93 points on the stream. Boss. Oh, shit, that scared me. We got Tornado in the house.
Woo, dropping his membership
Swiffing
message.
in. Yes, the monthly membership if you're in any of the membership levels. What did the man say?
Go Cowboys.
No, he didn't. He said, "Go Cowboys." All right, thank you, Tornado. Take Jason down to 92 points on that stream, on the overall thing. Anyways, as far as... Now I forgot what I was going to say about the clown show. Damn it, I forgot.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby.
Yeah, I know. My fault. I'm sure it'll creep back to me, but I think it was somebody's comment you had said about missing on some free agents.
Yeah,
and the way we kind of explore...
Cowboys have basically said,
Yeah.
like, you know, is it basically that we just make,
Yeah.
like, shitty offers?
I just think the Cowboys don't make any offers. And they do look at the player. You know, remember I was going to say this, and if anything comes up, I'm going to still finish saying what I'm saying. The Cowboys, just like, you know, Dalvin Cook, Jamal Adams, all these players that use the star, Julio Jones, right? They all use the star.
Of course.
To get more hype about them. Do you think the Cowboys front office minds that? They love it. That means they get more clout. That means they get more views and clicks.
I agree. What's good for the goose is good
And
for the gander. At
I'm
least
telling
in
you,
Jerry's mind.
That part is another piece of the clown show. But that has nothing really to do with this. It's just they love when people and players use the star. That's why they're always doing due diligence. Because they're always in every deal. Because they're always going to talk about it and then say no. But they're just going to tell us they talk about it. Anyways, don't get fooled by the front office. As far as Super Bowl abilities here, guys, the Cowboys currently, by the odds across Vegas, the Cowboys are currently tied as the third favorite in the NFL to win the Super Bowl. Third favorite to win the Super Bowl. I'll explain the odds in a minute. But first, and we jump in here because we got Juan Carlos in the membership. Congrats to him.
Woo.
Because I'm Mr. Tornado swooping in, dropping a membership, gifted style. Appreciate you, Tornado. I'm going to put him on the membership board now. He's right behind Skeptical and behind the leaders up there like Jason Renfro and
Shout
Bootzilla.
out to you, Tornado, for sharing the love.
Yeah, appreciate you. And appreciate Jason as well. His is that a dollar holler I think I missed? Yeah, dollar holler there.
Yes, it is.
And a Go Cowboys, of course. Go Cowboys. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Let me update the board here. If I'm just gonna quickly
Exactly. Haley 94 said it. It's marketing. It's literally
exactly. It's the Cowboys getting free advertising.
free marketing.
Free advertisements from freaking
Jerry's that cheap. I joke. But yeah, basically it just goes to show you that, yeah, the Cowboys never miss an opportunity to get their names, you know, in any kind of headline. And at this point, I think part of it, and I'm not going to lie, I feel like part of their strategy is to hide behind some of these names. Whatever moves they are or aren't making, it's much easier to distract people when they have a shiny name to kind of constantly talk about. You got
I'm laughing because that name's you're gonna find out what happened with that name today. But one of the
But
names.
yeah, that's all. I just think that they take
what you mean.
advantage of those situations sometimes.
Talk about the bigger name guys. Yeah.
Exactly, because we see them, you know, make more of what they feel like are their moves, which most of us would consider more mid-range, mid-tier type of moves. But the point is that for the Cowboys, they at least have been keeping things a little bit closer to the vest the last handful of years since McCarthy's been in the house. So I feel like part of our, at least using that to our advantage, is what we're doing in that regard, right? Like it's like McCarthy found a way to use Jerry's big mouth and use it as a shield, not just as a self-stabbing sword. So, anyway, with that said, let me see. Read a few. Excuse me. Oh, I had a little hiccup there. Let me read a few of the comments here. Oh, actually, I gotta hold up.
Wait a minute. Let me put some in it. Jason Renfro gifting a membership. Who's the lucky? Is that Michael?
Michael
Nasby?
Nasby the second.
Hey. Well, you're first in our hearts. Welcome to the membership, and congrats to the membership, and much love to the man, Jason Renfro, who is, again, trying to make sure no one comes close to him. He's got 7 gifted memberships on the board as we speak, trying to go for a repeat back-to-back championship there.
By the way, Juan Carlos said it's definitely the clown show when we miss out on good help for this team.
It's just the general, like that word right there. The help is just help, just a little help.
Yeah, you're not going to go out there somehow and replace your starters here.
Right, we're not looking for number 1 guys here.
Or week 18.
But you're looking for the depth that can help us. Now, the Cowboys go the L. Collins route. We know that.
Yeah, I think the more surprising part is the fact that they are willing to maybe make some smaller moves when it comes to the O-line, but when it comes to some defensive positions that we've lacked the depth at for a little while now at this rate, the Cowboys seem fine to kind of just roll with it. I don't know. Just saying, because the only other move we made, and not to bring him up in this way, but, Martavius Bryant, he's not exactly, all that in a bag of chips. I'm just saying, that was basically the only real mid-season type of move that the Cowboys allowed themselves to make. Other than that, they like our guy. We like our guys.
That was for show. Trust me, you'll know why in a minute. But as I get to this, I have McCarthy front and center. By the way, again, guys, thank you. I updated the board. Everything is set up, and appreciate your guys' drops of love, gifts, gifted memberships to the family in the chat, get the Cash App drops, all that stuff. Thank you guys on that. Now, the Cowboys are tied for the 3rd favorite in the NFL to win the Super Bowl. The Niners, 225 to 1 odds. The Ravens, 325 to 1 odds. Of course, that makes sense. They're both number 1 seeds.
I was just about to say, I kind of figured.
Yeah. But then the next teams are the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys with 800 to 1 odds. So, again, they're putting the Cowboys, assuming they get that 2nd seed, look how our chances go up. And this is not about, odds don't mean shit in Vegas, but it's just common sense. If the Cowboys play at home, they're going to have a better chance to win their wild card game. If they win that game, they go to the divisional round, probably going to win that game. They're going to play a lesser opponent in Dallas. Mm-hmm. So, get into that game against the Niners, they got a little more favor than we are, but all we want to do is get to that game. Just give us a chance, and you never know. You get the Chiefs at 1,000 to 1 odds, Eagles 1,100 to 1 odds, the Dolphins 1,200 to 1 odds, and the Lions 1,800 to 1 odds. Just a little roundabout recap on that. Now, McCarthy did speak, and he was asked about the benefit of losing, last year in that Week 18 game against Washington. And he said, quote, "It's definitely a reminder. It's been talked about and addressed here with us today. We have a lot to play for this week. We didn't have anything to play for last year."
Yeah. He
said, "We have a lot to play for. I expect our team to go down there to D.C. and play. We'll compete at the highest level and win the game." So almost a guarantee from McCarthy. And then, if you keep looking at some of the moves we're trying to make and bringing in something more. Yes, we brought in 4 new guys.
Yeah.
McCarthy said, quote, "If you look at some of the moves we made, the veteran experience was a part of it." And he said mainly it was about the offensive line and linebacker, which is, of course, L. Collins and Damian Wilson. McCarthy said, quote, "We're just trying to gear up and make sure we're locked and loaded for the playoffs." Just kind of what we figured they'd do. We just didn't do it with the bigger, shinier names like Dalvin Cook or Isaiah Buggs, which that's the one that bugs me. Isaiah Buggs, not the Dalvin Cook one. McCarthy also said, was asked about Dak Prescott's touchdown to interception ratio, which is flipped from last year. And he said, he was asked, does this prove it was just an anomaly last season, which is what we've said it has been, and it was going to be. And he said, quote, "Last year is over." I think if you go back and look at his history, that would be accurate. So, yeah, guys,
so basically he's not going to go out there and just say, it was a blip in the radar.
But just check the history.
He just says the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah.
That was outside of Dak's norm.
Yeah. One of the last things about one of our current players, or I'd say not injury-related, not other moves-related, a reporter asked McCarthy if it's safe to say if he believes CeeDee Lamb is an elite wide receiver right now in the NFL. McCarthy laughed. He said, quote, "Is this candid camera or what?" Yes, I'd say CeeDee is an elite receiver. Now, he also continued to say, it's important that CeeDee is versatile and able to play every receiver position, X, Y, slot, everything. And continued by saying, quote, "CeeDee has such a dynamic, unique skill set. I think he's a dynamic player from the backfield, too." Again, guys, Deebo Samuel-like, running back-like. And he didn't say this, that's what I'm saying, but that's what McCarthy's kind of trying to impose there and say. Also continued, McCarthy saying, quote, "And if you remember, in CeeDee's rookie year, he was our punt returner. So he has the ability to do it all from any spot in the field." And again, he's saying receiver, any spot at receiver, right? Slot, X, Y, outside, inside, whatever. motion. No, you know what I'm saying? He does it all from the receiver spot. He can run the ball. Obviously, #1 in scrimmage yards this season. That means catches and runs. And so you added that up. And, of course, in his rookie year, punt returner. So everything on the field, CeeDee Lamb, he's able to do these things. That's McCarthy's point. Now, I know someone dropped some love, so I'm going to let you take over, baby. And who dropped was it a dollar holler here from Jason, $1.60 holler?
Yes, it
from
was.
Jason Renfro.
You know what else he had to say?
Let me guess. Go Cowboys! Hell yeah.
Ooh. So, by the way, I did want to shout out this comment by Darren Posey, who's going to come through in a second here with his $5 holler. He said, normally it's Dallas week here in the DMV. It's quiet as a church mouse here. LOL. So, yeah, I think that just lets you know how much they've decided to, maybe hang up their cleats. Just trying to throw that out there, right?
Hang up their cleats? You mean...
yeah, like give it up. What exactly do you think what's confusing about that statement?
No, okay, no. I just.
Anyway, there you go.
Is that the drop right there,
yes,
Darren Posey? All right, sorry, I was kind of half agreeing there with you a little bit, but listen, I just know that this is the opportunity the Cowboys are waiting for. This is the best opportunity. Let me just be real with you guys. Some of you guys, are younger fans. This is the best opportunity to just take it this way. This is the best opportunity for this Cowboy team to get to the NFC Conference Championship game. And, of course, the Super Bowl as well. But if we get the second seed, that's it. That's the facts of the case. We want to accept that, we'll be great at 5. We'll be great. No, fuck all that. We won't be. We got to get the second seed. This is a playoff game, and I'm glad some of the players are starting to come around. I know we'll hear from them soon, actually, about their feelings about this game. Is it just another game? McCarthy already saying we glad we addressed it. We reviewed some things, and it's not like we're not playing for anything. We're playing for a lot, and that is the truth, because that's the difference between getting knocked out in the first or second round and possibly getting to the championship game or Super Bowl and winning it. You see my shirt. Yeah, we got 5, but we want 6. We need 6 and beyond. Mm-hmm. So. Darren Posey, I'm going to add him to the board here, baby. Give me a moment.
All good. So, and kind of rolling back a little bit here, let me read a few other comments. By the way, Frank Moyer, what's up? I think I shouted you out already.
Much love to Frank Moyer.
Oh, sorry. I'm just kind of rolling back and trying to catch up with the chat and read what you guys are discussing here.
I got it. I'm all caught up. So,
all right, perfect.
I mean, it just sounds like you're reading the discussions.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, because reading a random comment out of context won't make any point. I was trying to scroll back and see if, there was a comment there that I could read that maybe we could touch on, but it's, I think, too deep of a discussion at this point. So. All
right, well, then let's keep it moving. All right?
Yeah.
We don't want to get sidetracked. McCarthy also today talked about that another winner in the award season here. We talked about, some things yesterday. You got DeMarcus Lawrence, kind of the Man of the Year award nominee for the Cowboys. Witten, Cowboys head coach nominee. Jordan Lewis, guys. Jordan Lewis. Today is the winner, or was announced that he is the nominee, the winner for the Cowboys team at least. But he is the winner from the Dallas Cowboys team of the Ed Block Courage Award. And why? This all relates to him overcoming the career-threatening foot injury, that Liz Frank fracture that he had. That was possibly career-ending. He's back in that field. And he got a pick in this last game against the Lions, helped us win this game.
And he's actually, again, as the weeks have gone on, he's actually been looking better and been able to contribute a little bit more.
You can see him getting more comfortable, having better the last 3 games, much better, playing really good. So again, McCarthy was asked about, okay, well, that's great, but how was your reaction? What was the reasoning behind this? How was the locker room? He said, quote, it was just the applause that Jordan received in the team meeting, which clearly shows what teammates think about him as a man. I can still remember the X-rays. I just remember saying, this may be it. To see him out there making Jordan Lewis plays is so cool. So kind of getting back to where Jordan Lewis needs to be, almost a year and a half after this injury. So
that really is
good to see, great to hear, and great to see him getting this Ed Block Courage Award. Again, this journey back to top form, not just getting back, but back to top form, starting form. Remember, guys, emotional. It was daunting. It had some real mental health support needed from his coaches and teammates in this wake of this career-threatening injury. I mean, he was depressed. He was away from the facility. They went there and got him. They went to his house. I mean, you might see something similar this year. For next year's Ed Block Courage Award, that may be Trayvon Diggs. So I think that Trayvon Diggs is a guy that maybe could be maybe somebody of this award next year, because he's going through a tough offseason. Not about as tough as Jordan Lewis, but definitely a tough offseason. Yeah, go ahead.
No, just saying. Obviously, a big part of that depends on his comeback year.
Of
How
course.
he handles that and stuff like that. But we have seen a little bit of the behind the scenes, and Jordan Lewis, one of the few interviews he did give after his injury, mentioned the fact that Jordan Lewis has been a big source of support for him during this time. So I feel like that also contributed to him getting this award, his ability to kind of help support Trayvon through a similar situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, a similar type of serious injury that keeps him out for a season type of thing.
And I think the team also knows how to respond to this after Jordan Lewis' situation. So they'll respond to Trayvon Diggs and can reach out, maybe a little bit knowledgeable. They know each other and care about each other more so. So that's a great stuff there as far as, Jordan Lewis winning this award and maybe Trayvon Diggs, benefiting from this and maybe becoming the beneficiary of this next season if he can get back to top form and overcome this stuff, because there is some dark times on this here. Even Jordan Lewis, even Trayvon Diggs admitted that as well. After Jordan Lewis also admitted that in the offseason. So injuries. We talk about injuries. Here's another injury we got to discuss. Two of them actually, and this goes to our offensive line. You see him on our front cover here. Tyron Smith. I mean, not Tyron. I was just using Tyron Smith. Tyler Smith, guys. McCarthy. What's the update on him? McCarthy said that left guard Tyler Smith with that foot, fully torn plantar fascia, is currently, quote, making progress.
All right.
And if he participates in the Saturday morning practice, which is a walkthrough, that'll be the only chance he really has to play on Sunday against the Commanders. But according to McCarthy, the team needs to see him on the practice field first, before they can determine that. So, again, not expected to practice today. He did not, but I'll go to that in a minute. And then you got the other guy, the other interior guy on the other side of the ball, the other, trench guy, and that's Jonathan Hankins. McCarthy was asked about him. He said, quote, "He looks good so far," end quote. Great news when you're looking at Jonathan Hankins and possibly coming back this week. Now, how did practice go today? Well, a winter storm is coming to D.C.
Okay.
We know this. It's going to be at least rainy, drizzly, maybe earlier in the game, but it's going to be a wet field. It's going to be kind of wet conditions.
Yeah, I know the Cowboys are using some of their cold weather tactics in practice today.
Back at it again with a winter storm forecast here. McCarthy has his players like Jake Ferguson once again working on catching, wet, cold footballs in practice. And you've seen this happen in weeks past when we go into this. The current forecast has most of the precipitation and the rainfall hitting on Saturday. But the Cowboys are monitoring it closely, and it still could be a little bit wet on that field. It won't be as bad. They sponge that shit right out. And by the next day, it still will drizzle in the morning, probably let off about 4 or 5% rain, I think it is, chance, by the time kickoff comes. So it should be pretty clear. We may have some drizzle, but the field should be okay. They're still guarding against it, a wet football. It's going to be high 30s, low 40s when they kick off. So Cowboys are monitoring all of this very closely. So the Cowboys have, how do they do this in practice? The Cowboys submerge some of their footballs underneath water in ice water. And they do this before practice in order to prepare for this, possible inclement road weather. This could be the final week of doing this. If we win this game, we don't have to worry about fucking cold weather until we get knocked out of the playoffs, or we have to play in San Francisco, I guess. If there's, if it's going to be cold, it could be cold. It ain't going to snow is the point. But the final week of doing this, for the season possibly for us. As the number 2 seed, if we get a win, the only other potential road game for the entire playoffs, the only potential road game would be at San Francisco in the NFC Conference Championship game, and of course Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. That's the only 2 road games we got to worry about. We don't have to dunk the ball. Probably we don't have to dunk the ball in water for that. If we get this win, for those games for the Super Bowl, you don't have to do it, and not for San Francisco, you're probably not going to have to do it. So now, as far as which players were on the field, it was interesting to see Lael Collins right on the field already.
Oh,
yeah. So was Damian Wilson on the field for Lael Collins on the Cowboy practice field for the first time since 2021. Yeah, Lael Collins. in the house.
Definitely been a while.
Damian Wilson, first time he's been on that football field for the Cowboys since 2018.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I guess so.
Yeah. So when you look at everybody on that field, who was the only guy kind of not really seen at practice today? It was our offensive lineman, Tyler Smith, which we kind of assumed, and we knew this. I mean, he was on the field. He was not in practice. He was working on the resistance cords with the director of rehab, Britt Brown. So getting all those facts together, what was the final verdict when it comes to today's second day of practice? And again, guys, as nobody's ruled out yet, we got to wait and see what occurs here going forward. But when you look at things, and you look at the Cowboys, let's start with Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith, with the foot issue, did not practice yesterday, did not practice today. We know it's all about Saturday. So he might not even practice tomorrow and still be questionable for the game until Saturday's practice, and then we'll know if there's an upgrade and he's probable, something like this, or if he's ruled out. Probably on Saturday. So we're not going to know on him yet, but he missed practice today. Not a surprise there. You had Dorrance Armstrong. Remember Dorrance Armstrong, baby? He was kind of ankle injury at the end of the practice yesterday, and he was limping around. He did not practice today. He was limited yesterday because of the injury happening at the end of practice, and he was in enough practice to be called limited. But he was out for the rest of that practice, and he was out today's practice with an ankle injury he suffered yesterday. There wasn't really much information about that. Just got to keep an eye on his ankle issue. One of our rotational backup edge rushers there, edge setters. Then we also had Rico Dowdle. You know that situation. It was an ankle. He was limited yesterday. Okay. Today, full practice.
Oh.
So Rico's in. He looks like he's a good go here. Knocking on wood. Remember, just put Deuce Vaughn on IR. So we don't really have an extra running back there.
It's a little bit different than it has been since the beginning of the season.
Now, of course, yesterday, Malik Hooker and Wanye Thomas both missed practice with an illness. So today, both guys also missed practice with that same illness.
Shit.
Should be okay for the game, but they're getting hit with the bug right now. But also, now they gave it to two other guys. Chauncey Golston today added on the practice list. Did not practice because of an illness. And Chuma Edoga also did not practice because of an illness. So they should be good for the game, but something to watch, especially if anybody else gets sick now.
I agree.
So Chauncey Golston, Edoga, Hooker, Thomas, these four guys are out of practice because of being ill. And like I said, Armstrong out because of the ankle. And, you had Tyler Smith out, as we know. And then you had other guys that were out for resting purposes, like Zach Martin with the rest, Tyron Smith with the rest. I think that's everybody who was completely out of practice today. When you look at the other guys that were listed here more as the limited kind, that's a really big increase here. A great news here. Since yesterday, Hankins was limited. Today he was also limited, which tracks on the progression, the trajectory of him coming back this weekend to play against Washington in Washington. So that's a big player we need to get back in there nice and healthy. Get some snaps in this game, even if you don't want to overuse them. But get him in this game, get him a little revved up for the playoffs. Jonathan Hankins seems to be limited out of just precaution. Seems to be on track to play. So that's great news seeing him limited. And everybody else that was on this list was full practice. Like I said, Rico Dowdle, Valemi Fehoko, Junior Fehoko, the rookie. He's off the list. Tomorrow he won't be on. Next week he won't be on this list. But he, with the knee issue, off IR, full practice. You had Hunter Lipke also with the thigh injury. It's a bruise. Full practice for him, and that's the way the cookie crumbled for our injuries today. So that covers everything on that side. There are a couple of interesting little things we got to discuss, though, baby, when it comes to the guys that we had to cut after signing 4 guys to this team. La'el Collins, he's getting paid by the Bengals while he was rehabbing and was no, I'm saying he was getting paid by the Bengals while he was rehabbing, even though they had cut him through his free agency time. And he worked his way already into football shape. That's the reason why the Cowboys were surprised, because he was ready to hit that field immediately. He had we didn't expect that from him. Remember,
very different than the La'el Collins we
exactly.
used to know.
La'el Collins got lazy and got after that accident through COVID and got himself out of starting position. Now, listen, he's still a third stringer, whatever, but he's at least a healthy third stringer jumping right in there, and that to me is major. He had multiple offers, by the way. He chose to come back to Dallas, which is big. Huh. And I'll tell you what he did in practice today. I know you wanted to say a comment.
I did want to actually take a second here, because Amanda Lunatic said, sorry I was not able to contact you earlier, MCF, MCW. We're going to have 4 Dak Mosh jersey raffles for the wild card round. Woo! And the donations for this week can count as well. So, guys, you heard it here first. this is your chance. Every $10, bam, you're automatically entered. Your entries do stack, and we're
unlimited,
raffling off 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, unlimited entries, 4 jerseys, guys. I mean, you can't beat that with the bat.
And huge shout out to the man, the Lunatic, making it happen here.
Yes, the Lunatic. Much love to him. Actually, got Lil Collins on the screen, but let me put up what we did last time. This is a preview.
Yeah.
$10 per entry, unlimited entries. You get membership bonus entry. If you're in a membership, navy blue, silver, star, or over everything, you will get it. Once you hit the $10, you get a second bonus entry raffle. Raffles, you get have 100 raffle entries if you want. 4 prizes, all 4 prizes. You know what they are, guys. I mean, we all know what they are, right? Mm-hmm. Again, and you'll see it here, first and second place prize, but it's all 4 prizes. Sewn and stitched Cowboys Mosh jersey. About 40 different guys to pick from, a million different styles and sizes. That's what I'm talking about. And right here, you got Ron the Don Smith. Boom, 2 jersey raffle entries just like that.
Woo.
Bang, bang. With the $20 Tony Pollard holler. And by the way, that's like our biggest drop of the week. Ties the biggest drop of the week so far.
You know what he said?
Tell me, baby, because Jason referenced the 70 Zach Martin points. What did Mr. Ron the Don have to say?
What's up, MCF and MCW?
Hell yeah.
Just want to say, I'm glad we got Lyle Collins back and Damon Wilson back. Hashtag here we go.
Here we go. Hell
Go
yeah.
Cowboys.
Hell yeah. Agree. Listen, I am glad we got him, but not like we're going to win the Super Bowl because of these guys. It's just good depth players, right?
Yes. And for those of you guys joining us now, we already spoke about Isaiah Buggs.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to kind of give us a super quick recap on that again?
I'm fucking pissed. I wish the Cowboys would have went after him. It would have been a smart move. The Chiefs picked him up, though, today. You know, he cleared waivers yesterday, and they picked him up. The Cowboys didn't even look at him, I don't think. So
Nope.
That's unfortunate. That's a shame, and that's what the Cowboys, it's Cowboys. That's what they do sometimes, right?
Unfortunately.
Ron the Don, appreciate you. Tied in 10th place with that drop. And, again, 2 raffle entries for that. I'm not sure if he is in the membership. So that's a 3rd raffle entry. You see how that works?
Bam.
And again, I guess we're counting all this week's as well, right?
Yeah.
So
we'll obviously have to do some math for those who have dropped the love so far, but all good. We'll figure that out post-stream.
Yeah, guys, we will. Again, by the time we get, this is a 2-week super raffle here, basically. So anyone who's already been in, and we got a long list of names. You guys are all entered in the raffle. You got 1, 2 entries. Some of you guys got much more than just 2 entries. And you got memberships. You added entries onto that. But again, guys, all the prizes, like I said, like Mr. The Lunatic said in the chat down there, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th place prize, all the same. Sewn and stitched jersey. 40 different names from the Cowboys. Even other teams and other sports if you want. But a lot of different choices for the Cowboys. Styles, eras, Hall of Famers, legends, new school, old school, young guys. A lot of different options. We just mailing out a Deron Bland and a Jake Ferguson jersey. And we got a Michael Irvin jersey getting sent out. I'm just saying, you got them from all eras, and you got them in those styles of those eras if you want. Again, great stuff. Great jersey from Cowboy Mosh. And a great thing done here by the man, De Lunatic. As hopefully we chuck out the Eagles in the 2nd round of the playoffs. Well, right now we'll figure out who the first round of the playoffs are going to be, and we will post that information here for tomorrow's stream and get you all ready to go. So much love to the Lunatic for making this happen.
Definitely upset about the Bugs, right?
Yeah, Isaiah Buggs. That was a major miss by the Cowboys, in my opinion. As a backup and sometimes as a pseudo starter instead of Mozzie. Just plain and simple. That's what we've seen in the last 3 games at Mozzie. We know he can't cut it, so why make him go out there and try to pick up snaps that are going to hurt us? I would have brought this guy in, paid him you got to pay him not much at all for a playoff for a couple games. You know what I'm saying? For a regular season game and playoffs. I mean, it's just no reason for this. But hey, we talked about it earlier, and it sucks he's not there. So, anyways, that being gone, the guy we do have, like Ron the Don Smith just said here, is Mr. Lyle Collins. And just wanted to say this: today's practice, he was working at left guard. That's Tyler Smith's spot. Not that he's taking over the starting spot, guys, but he's working at left guard because, there's an opportunity. He might have been the 3rd string left guard, but he's working that position right now. So that was his first practice with the Cowboys since 2021, and he's working at left guard, which seems to be the Cowboys' true need is kind of focused at right now, is at that left guard spot. And You
the
know,
good thing about Lyle Collins is he has actually a lot of versatility when it comes to the O-line. So
yeah, he can play the right tackle or left guard.
Left guard now doesn't mean that he can't be depth for pretty much any other position outside of center.
Agreed. And again, he could play right tackle for sure, left guard for sure. He's touched on that.
Obviously, right guard, not exactly his ideal position.
But remember, this is only break glass if needed. And if we need it, we're probably in trouble. But this is about, like McCarthy said, about veteran guys like Lyle Collins, like Damian Wilson. And when you look at the numbers, he was number 71. That's Chuma Edoga now.
Yeah.
Lyle Collins got number 72, old Travis Frederick's number. So you said center. It's funny. Lyle Collins is number 72. Damian Wilson, he used to be 57. Now he's number 45. So he's got that, that Malik Jefferson number. So he's got, that like number. I think Malik Jefferson is 46.
He's going to get their old numbers. I'm not going to lie.
Damian Wilson is 45. Racy McMath. Remember him?
Okay.
He's number 80. And then the running back, Sir Roderick Thompson, number 36. Kind of a change of pace guy, possibly, right? Oh, Mark Hovsepian. Dropping the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it.
Ooh, shout out to you, Mark. Do you know what he had to say?
Hit me with it.
Linebacker and O-line are an issue because a lot of injuries and poor drafting. So desperate we signed Collins, we have no depth. Clown show, tons of draft busts.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we have tons of draft busts, at least, especially if you look at the first year busts in this season's draft, I agree. But not in the first round when it comes to offensive line. Defensive line, a whole different story. It takes a little bit longer to develop Mozzie Smith type guys. But yes, Lyle Collins to me is more of again, people are looking at this as he's going to start. And again, if you look at it as he's going to start, I agree. It's shitty, crap move. But if you look at him as a break glass in a case of emergency because we need him in the playoffs and he has to jump in there at left guard, we got to hope he's okay with a better offensive line he's around now than he was with Cincinnati. So we'll see what happens on that. I agree, though. It is the kind of clown moves we're used to. In a sense that, it's good enough. Bare minimum, former guys, but now...
I wasn't jumping out of my seat for him before, but I have to admit, it's actually grown on me a little bit.
Well, I know he spoke. I know you got some info on that in a minute, but we're going to talk Lyle Collins here. And again, I kind of understand what Mark is saying about the Lyle Collins move. I also know that a couple facts that maybe you've brought up before, and I know Mark has heard that it's very hard to find any good offensive lineman right now in the NFL. Forget about drafting, bad draft or not. Every team has offensive line weaknesses. And when you look at, and I say that in a general sense, obviously the Eagles, the Niners, a couple other teams are pretty fucking good. And we're supposed to be up there. The players haven't performed that way, though. I'll tell you that. Not consistently. So Lyle Collins is not gonna improve any of that. He's there, and I want to make sure Mark hears this. The only reason Lyle Collins is there is because guys like Austin Richards are not ready. Because TJ Bass might still be a little behind. It's because the depth is not good. So Lyle Collins adds a little veteran mentorship, and he's a practice squad guy that maybe elevated a game or something like this in the playoffs. We'll see. But that is where I think you're seeing the use of Lyle Collins. He's not here to save our season. So you got to remember, guys, the Cowboys can only keep 6 quote-unquote veterans on our practice squad because we picked up these 4 guys. That means that we have to cut 4 guys that are veterans. And you know who we cut? Martavius Bryant.
Oh, no.
Yeah, people are going to cry. We cut Tyron Billy Johnson, receiver, who was, I think, number 80. We cut Adam Pankey and Willington Prevalin.
No more hanky-panky.
No more hanky-panky, yeah. So, again, the Damian Wilson replacement and the Lyle Collins replacement was for Martavius Bryant getting cut and Tyron Billy Johnson getting cut. Those 2 guys got cut because of these 2 moves. And then Adam Pankey and Willington Prevalin were also released today just to make room for the full 4 guys that we put on this squad. So, practice squad now refilled. You see the 4 new names, the 4 guys that are out. Don't be surprised, though, if the Cowboys do maybe pick one of these guys up, maybe to fill in a practice squad spot if needed in the near future in the playoffs because they're familiar with the team, the scheme, and all that stuff. So, again, I just want to throw all these numbers out because we got to talk Lyle Collins. I mean, Lyle Collins got to talk Lyle Collins, right? Because he spoke today, and, we will get to his comments here in a minute. I think you're saying you have to say something here.
I did want to say something. Want to say shout out to Amazing Games because he just dropped a $10 Go Cowboys.
Much love to the amazing one on the West Coast. Amazing Games. And if he dropped that $10 holler, you know what that means, right, baby?
What does that mean?
that means that he is in the raffle. Official, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is.
Much love. He said, "Go Cowboys!" Of course. And as you can see, every $10, you add another raffle entry to your name. If you're in the, I think he's in the membership. He is.
Yes, he is.
So he gets again a bonus membership entry. He's already got 2, and every 10 on top of that, you can keep stacking them. Every 10 is another raffle entry to get a chance to win what? You get again 4 different winners will win one of these jerseys of your choice. Your name, the name, the player, the color. A lot of choices to pick from. Yep. Cowboy Mosh style, much less. First, second, third, and fourth place. That's elite from the Lunatic. Much love to the Lunatic making this thing happen once again. And it will be done at halftime or around that game, right? It will be done right there in our wild card playoff game next Sunday.
Yep.
Or Saturday or Monday, right?
Take it easy, Ron the Don. Appreciate you.
Yes, much love, Ron, in the house. By the way, Jason Renfro, 55 points, and Ron knocked that down 20. So got to give him a big shout out as well. Amazing Games also knocking off 10 on that as well. So
sorry, cracking me up. First of all, 6'8". Yeah, that's a great prediction there by your wife. Haley94 said, after my Tavius, it was like trying to read Braille on who the other players were.
Yeah. No, I mean.
GM said, did MCF catch the Cat Williams on Club Shea? No, but I've seen it pretty much blown up on all social media.
Yeah, I saw some of it, but
I didn't get to hear or see even a little bit of it.
When we see the fully, I'm sure we'll drop a comment. Probably on Sunday for the game. We'll probably already have seen it, and we'll comment appropriately when we're chilling and watching the game. Hopefully chilling and enjoying the game. I have some information about the game, but I know you have more information, though, from our players, right? From our players, La'el Collins and the offense, who was out there today, practicing with wet footballs. But starting with La'el Collins, he met with the media, with the Cowboys media, for the first time since 2021, his last practice here.
Yeah.
What do you say today?
First of all, he said, it's amazing. It feels great. I could never have even dreamed of it. I'm super excited and looking forward to this opportunity to just be a great leader and whatever they need me to be here. So
that's the main thing, I think, more than playing, is veteran leadership.
So, and by the way, to Dak, since of course he was kind of asked, like, hey, have you talked to Dak yet?
His best friend, right?
He said, I just told him, hey, let's make this happen. Let's go win this thing.
The whole thing, not just
and he also kind of joked that Dak, because when Dak was doing part of his press conference, La'el Collins kind of snuck up a little bit in part of the crowd, and it just happened to be the moment where Dak was talking about him, so they were kind of messing with each other a little bit, wink and smile, looking at each other. We knew that they were one of the closest guys too. They've gone on multiple fishing trips and spent lots of time together during the off season when he was a
with
Cowboy,
the Cowboys, right?
Right. So, and La'el Collins added in there. I think that's one of the most underrated things: the support from my guys. The moment I walked into the building, it just felt like I was right back at home, like I didn't even leave. It's special, and I embrace that. I don't take it for granted. So, of course, it's really nice to hear that he's able to kind of feel right back at home, coming back.
Even knowing his role has completely changed for this season,
Of course. But let's be real. We're all wanting to know the same thing. Can you even physically hold up, La'el Collins? Because there was a reason we moved on from you. And he said, this is the best I've ever felt. A full year of no contact, this is the best my body has felt in a long time. I feel like this is my reset button, and it's going to help prolong my career.
I hope.
So it's a little bit different than just, he was hurt or he was whatever. He straight up basically had an entire year of no football. Like he said, I basically didn't take any hits at all for an entire year. So, and you kind of mentioned the Cowboys were pleasantly surprised at how physically ready to go he was, all things considered, right? They were expecting him to be much more out of football shape. Yep. So, for once, we can actually say La'el Collins took some of his fitness seriously. Because when he was with the Cowboys, he really struggled to maintain a lot of his off-season fitness.
And COVID in that accident he had, that car, little fender bender, man, that really threw him off.
Yeah, so kind of throwing out there, too, he knows, like you said, he's not there to be in the same role that he used to be in. He said, quote, I can play left tackle, no doubt about it, but I'll play fullback, I don't care. I just love ball, man, and I just want to help these guys win. So automatically, I think we all perk up and we're like, hey, we're going to get cute with La'el Collins up the O-line, but...
Fullback?
Calm down.
Did he say fullback?
Right? Yes, he said fullback.
Now, I do want to remind everybody that La'el Collins did play fullback, in a way, tight end, for us in 2021. Yeah. If you remember, he did play in those Connor McGovern. You know, we had Connor McGovern playing back there as a fullback. We had La'el Collins on some plays. We had the two offensive linemen as fullback play and then we threw the ball. Kellen Moore. That was a great Kellen Moore play there. But you see how we've used that with La'el Collins. Now, he's not going to play fullback, but he's willing to do anything it takes for this team to win.
And I actually think it's kind of cool because he never actually sold his house here in Frisco. So he kept his house. It was literally as simple as literally going back to the house and just like turning the power back on and getting everything reconnected. Bam, he's back home.
That was easy.
So he had it in there, just came back to the house, turned the lights on, picked up right where I left off. Honestly, I was in a position where I was thinking about letting my body rest as much as possible this year and getting back next season. But this was the right time and the right place. I had gotten to that point within myself mentally where I felt like I knew my leg is good physically. And now I'm just ready to play ball again. And 2024 couldn't have started off any better. So, like I said, his whole point there was that he wanted to have like a little reset button physically.
Right. So it's not just it was physical, but also I'm sure some mental. But it was more like he needed some time off. But then at the same time, you know, he
felt ready to go now. He just was like, well,
Right.
I'm still going to wait till next season until this opportunity.
Right. And remember, but he had 2 or 3 other offers made to him, and he chose the Cowboys for the reason you just mentioned, because it's as easy as that. Turn his lights on and go back with his buddy there, Dak Prescott. So it was an easy choice for him to make when the money was probably a little more somewhere else.
Yeah.
But a lot easier to kind of maintain and fit in with this team.
He also admits that, you know, he's obviously a little bit different than he was the first time he came through the doors of the Star, right? He said, I just want to be an open book for anyone that'll listen and anyone who wants someone to hear them out or wants advice.
Yeah, experience.
I've been through a lot of different things, and I've grown a lot. I'm 30 now, and I remember coming into this thing at 21, and I thought I knew it all, but I didn't know anything. I look forward to being coached hard like a rookie and taking it all in and getting better.
Well,
I mean,
that's a humbled mindset, which is going to work out for him.
I don't think I've ever even come close to hearing La'el Collins sound anything like that. Is this seriously the same guy who, you know, basically shirked every possible responsibility ever put upon him outside of just, like, showing up to work, you know?
Well, you know, he wanted to supposedly bribe the drug collector, so, you know, that's a lot of issues came from that. The Cowboys still took him back after everything's said and done, and the Cowboys rarely take back a released or let go Cowboy, right? Well, they brought La'el Collins back, so that says something.
Usually the ones that were released for, like you said, the specific reasons he was, which, right, like it was like some of his off the field stuff, but also his work ethic and the effort he was putting out there on the field, right? Like that was the real last straw for the Cowboys when he came in to training camp so out of shape he ended up hurting himself.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah,
like I remember those comments were pretty bad. Anyway, back to you.
So, I mean,
it's
again,
just nice to see him back in this way, right?
Now,
Marissa Sparkle, shout out to you.
Marissa in the house. What is up?
Ooh.
Puta madre. She knows.
Oh, cracking me up. So W said it. He seems genuinely happy. I mean, he really was. And
this is the spot he wants to be at.
I do.
Again, not a savior, but he fits right in.
I have to agree. I think it was Haley94 Ware who said it a little earlier in our stream. I'm not mad at this move. Like, I'm actually more pleasantly surprised. Like, I was not expecting, and that part of it too was his interview and hearing, like, man, he does sound a little bit more mature than he did a few years ago, the last time we heard from him.
Him being in shape and him having the better attitude are things that are going to make him maybe a guy that can be a good depth player in the future. Right now, he's still
physically able to perform his backup duties.
I think exactly. I think that's for next year, though. I think this year we just take what we can get. He's more of a veteran leader that gives, you know, that helps out the young guys, you know, in the locker room. That's what he is this year, and break in case of emergency. Break glass in case of emergency. If that's not happening, I mean, next year maybe something better comes from this. But that's a good mindset for him to be in, to maybe stay around a little longer in Dallas, and maybe, you know, earn his way back to like a consistent, at least at the very least, consistent backup role.
The Lunatic said, Brad, the urine collector, how do you even bring that up? When he gives you the cup, you say, by the way, is this your bag of money? I think he just straight up said, hey, I'll give you 10 grand if you just like let me leave. Or some shit like that. I can't remember the exact details, but he just straight up said, like, I will just give you 10 grand. I'm almost positive.
He kind of said he was joking about it, but
you know, it's kind of like making a joke about I have a bomb when you're at the airport. Maybe
you don't want to make that
some
joke.
Jokes
it can be taken
or have a time and a place, and that's not the time or the place.
Agree.
What do I know though? Mark Hosepian coming through with the 5. Dollar Holler. You know what he said?
Well, hit me with it, because right now he's in third place on the overall board. And yes, building up, you see the bottom right of the screen. There's 4 jerseys from Cowboy Mosh about to be raffled off here and for the playoffs. So $10 you're in at Mark. Building up some raffle entries right there. What did Mr. Hawaii Mark have to say, baby, with that 5?
The past 4 years, D-line, O-line, linebacker busts, some marginal starters. But Fehoko, Richards, Williams, Waletzko, Ridgeway, Farniok, Bahana, Feoko, Ball, Cox, Ane, and Gallimore.
A lot of busts there, right?
Busts.
Yeah, a lot of those are busts. Wait, let me see. Oh, wait, where is it? Here it is. Yeah, I see a lot of them are busts. Ridgeway was a given away, right? We have to. I think we gotta wait on Waletzko. Right now, he's definitely not there yet, and Richards is young. Fehoko, I don't know anything he's gonna pull anything this year for us or next year. Playing defensive line, you gotta give him that little bit of time. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, a lot of those names not giving me a lot of confidence, right, Mark? So I hear you, bro. I hear you, and
and they're certainly not exactly producing right now, which is the bigger concern.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where we're hurting at times because of that. Like you said earlier, the depth at those spots, we didn't pick right, we didn't draft right, or the players didn't produce properly, or weren't developed properly, whatever it may be. I hear you, Mark. I understand, and he is right about that part of things when it comes to those limited spots on our team. But I'm gonna be real now. Does every team pick every pick great, or do a lot of teams also have misses? Right, Mark? I know that's the way we're supposed to do it. Our way, the Cowboys front office way, is draft, but the misses are more important. But other teams have a lot of misses too.
Yeah. Some
teams are still missing, and they have less draft picks or more draft picks, and they still miss worse than we do. Although no excuse for us missing. So I'm with you.
Marco Seppi.
Another 5. Maybe he's just a couple back on Skeptical Fan for second place. And he's getting closer and closer, Jason Renfro, on the overall board. He's definitely chipping away at that stream boss, who's now at 45 points. What did the man Marco Seppian have to say with that 5 on it?
He said, let's be real. No one wanted him, and he's coming off injury, and he's 31. What's he going to say? You're lucky to have me? Thing is, he is the best available.
That's the thing. Best available, I'll take it. For cheap, as a veteran, kind of guy that would help some of the younger guys. And again, if you look at him like that, Mark, it's a good pickup. If you look at him as the way he used to be and he was a starter, then that person who thinks that way is delusional about La'el Collins, right? So I think Mark and us, we're on the same page that La'el is not he's the best available, and he's just a good backup at best for next year probably. This year, he's just a veteran leader in the locker room.
I was going to say, I have to slightly disagree with the first part of that statement because we actually know that there were several teams that were interested and made offers to him.
Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Bills are one of the teams. Cowboys were interested, and supposedly a couple others, who knows, but we know at least the Bills were interested. He chose the Cowboys because of the ease, I think, because Dak is his buddy, because he's comfortable and familiar with the area for a playoff run, and about the same amount of money, probably less with the Cowboys, but he'll take it with the other benefits you get, right? Which for him, it's more than just getting on the field and getting money.
Yeah,
for him, it's about building back up. This is the right place for him.
And desire, and it sounds like attempts.
Yes, that is true. There was attempts.
Get him outside of Dallas.
The Buffalo Bills were the team that were making an attempt for him, and the Cowboys outbid them. Not outbid them by money, but outbid them by being home. He's their home for the Cowboys. But I agree with Mark when he says nobody else wanted him. It wasn't like a tough sell for the Cowboys. He probably is getting $300,000 more somewhere else. He's going to stay in Dallas, and he's just a future backup for us now, so, but a veteran nonetheless. Now, let's get to the offense, baby. I mean, with the drops of knowledge, you guys are really, really doing it up tonight. A big shout out to the Lunatic. 4 jersey raffle. Every $10 you get a raffle entry. Talked about the unlimited entries you can get on here if you're in the membership. Doesn't matter if you were gifted a membership. You get past the $10 mark, the threshold. You get your raffle entry, but you get a bonus raffle entry as well. So, and you keep building from there. You have a better chance to win one of these 4 jerseys, sewn and stitched. Cowboys Mosh, you know the deal. So, who else spoke today? Let's go on to we talked about defense yesterday. Let's talk about our defensive players that spoke today. And again, you have to remind me, who do you want to speak on first, baby?
Well, DeMarcus Lawrence had a little bit of something to say because you guys were defending his honor in a lot of ways yesterday.
Oh, Pro Bowl
as far as the Pro Bowl, yeah. So DeMarcus Lawrence spoke on not being on the initial Pro Bowl roster, saying, quote, I've had the opportunity to experience the Pro Bowl over my years playing. It really doesn't matter to me. I look at it like this. It's either I'm going to be in the Super Bowl or I'm going to be in the Pro Bowl. It's either Bosa's going to be in the Super Bowl or he's going to be in the Pro Bowl. So it really doesn't matter. My goals are set on the Super Bowl.
So you guys understand what he's saying? If the Niners are in the Super Bowl, he's not even counting the Eagles. If the Niners are in the Super Bowl, that means that,
I love that for the diss it was intended to be.
He will be in the Pro Bowl as an alternate, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Because he's the next in line. We kind of assume that. And if he's going to be in the Super Bowl, then, Bosa will be in the Pro Bowl. And, that's the way, obviously, he'd rather it be. But I'm just saying that he's worried about winning the championship. He ain't worried about making the Pro Bowl or not. Good mindset for the old man, I guess, the 31-year-old veteran edge rusher, run stopper, edge stopper.
DeMarcus Lawrence and Leo Collins are the same age.
That's crazy, yeah.
Even I admit their maturity levels have always been a little bit different. So, anyway, like I said, that's pretty much it from DeMarcus Lawrence. But Deron Bland also had a little something to say today. Unfortunately, also about the Pro Bowl. He just officially made his first Pro Bowl. So he was asked, if he started this season with any kind of specific goals, right? Like make the Pro Bowl or any like total interceptions. He said, I definitely set some goals. Then I had to adjust them halfway through the season.
Because he already topped the goals, right? So, yeah. Big numbers there from DeBron Bland. But he's been disappeared since Washington on Thanksgiving. After that pick six, that record breaker, he's been MIA. We need more from DeBron Bland this week, especially against a team that gives it up in the air with a little bit of pressure. If you know what I mean. So, all right. So as
they put out easily.
Exactly. So as we get going here, guys, let me just throw up some of again, you got these emojis, so you know what to do here. If you're not sure, drop it like it's hot. Whether it's the what the fucks. When there was a couple of years ago, they were the Washington football team, or as we call them, the WTFs. Yeah, the Washington whatevers. You got, of course. Last year, you had Snyder running things like a communist. The Commies. Yeah. There you go, guys. The Washington Commies. So, as we look at this game going forward here, we're going to look at their defense versus our Texas Coast, right? The Cowboys have drawn Fox, right? Fox Sports. Fox is going to play our game as they usually play the NFC games. The Cowboys will be on Fox, but we will get, once again, the number one officiating crew on this one, guys. Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olson, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi. These guys will be doing the game, which is the Cowboys and Commanders here on Sunday. It is the 16th out of 17 games the Cowboys have played this year that have had that network's top broadcasting crew. The only game was missed this year. The only game that they brought their second stringers out for us was the Cardinal game, which we lost by 12. Now, Sunday is going to mark the 8th time this year that the Dallas Cowboys are being broadcast by Fox as the number one crew. Like I said, the 8th time this season. And when you look at it's what? I think they're 14 points right now is the favorite. The Cowboys are 14-point favorites. 13.5, 14-point favorites. Washington is basically 2-touchdown home underdogs this week against Dallas. And there were also 14-point underdogs, 2-touchdown underdogs at home last week against the Niners. That's the first time in 20-plus years that an NFL team is a 2-touchdown underdog in consecutive home games. Again, guys, it hasn't happened this century, basically. So that's insane, and that means that they should get their asses handed to them. So what's the deal with this game in general, this Washington Commander game? I'm hearing a lot of stuff about the Cowboys going to get an easy win and whatever it may be. It is a divisional game. There's always that worry that they will like to knock us out and help the Eagles, although I don't think they want to help the Eagles either. So it was interesting, guys, by the fans. We know the front office would rather lose this game. We know this. But the fans, the coaches, the players, I don't know. But when it comes to the players more on that side of things and the media kind of digging in on this, are the Washington Commanders team, organization, coaches, are they all in on beating the Cowboys this Sunday? Or is everything really about next year and them holding on to that second overall pick?
Where's their mindset at?
Yeah, is it at the second overall pick or is it beating the Cowboys? So, according to multiple reports, the fan base in general, there's no appetite for that win against the Cowboys this week. They couldn't care less about beating the Cowboys this week.
What a surprise.
And the ownership also, Magic Johnson is one of the owners there, but I forgot who the main guy is the majority owner. But they don't want an upset victory. They don't need the Washington Commanders to beat the Cowboys. They just want to take an L and get the second overall pick of the draft. Every round they get the second pick. Remember that. So again, the only consolation prize that they get by losing this game is that second overall pick in the draft. But that will require some help because right now they're the second seed, but even if they lose, they still have a strength of schedule situation tiebreaker going against the Patriots. So they got to win.
It's a race to the bottom.
Yeah, they got to win. They're hoping the Patriots win. That would help them, I guess, there. So, again, they have the tiebreaker by a slim margin against New England for that second seed. If at worst, they'll get the third seed if they lose.
Pick?
I'm sorry, I said seed. Yeah, they get the third pick of the draft if, let's say, they lose to us, but New England beats them out, because of that strength of schedule, whatever the tiebreaker is. So, New England would be second. Of course, if they beat us, they drop to like 7th. Or 8th, or who knows how far back. That would be the worst thing that they want. The Washington Commanders don't want that. Now, if they have their third stringers and they beat us with their third stringers, can't do anything about that. That means we fucking suck. So, again, they right now are hanging in the balance for that second seed, the second draft pick or third draft pick if they lose. If they win, they're looking at 6th, 7th, or 8th draft pick, in the draft. So, the fan base wants the picks. The owners want the picks. The players, the coaches, they got to show up and show out for future jobs for all of these guys. So when it comes to injuries, baby, this is interesting to me. When it comes to the Washington Commanders injured list, Jonathan Allen, one of their best interior guys, he missed another practice with a knee issue. Did not practice today. And Kendall Fuller, cornerback, starter. Kendall Fuller has a knee issue, did not practice again as well. Back-to-back days of no practice for the two of their better defensive players, Jonathan Allen and Kendall Fuller.
That already spells trouble for a team that can't afford it.
And based on this, I have a vibe. The Commanders, their veteran players, are not playing this weekend. Now, I'll tell you what I mean by this in a minute. You got situations there with Curtis Samuel. Full practice yesterday, Curtis Samuel. One of the guys that killed us, that hurt us the most in our first game against Washington on Thanksgiving. I think he's the only receiver that got over 100 yards on us this year. So Curtis Samuel, hamstring, full practice yesterday. Today, he did not participate in practice. That is something to kind of, what's going on there? Look at Cam Curl. You say, who's Cam Curl? Cam Curl is their starting safety. And Cam Curl, number 31, strong safety, he yesterday was on the list here with a quad injury, but full practice yesterday. Today, did not practice at all, Cam Curl. So they got their starting safety, their starting cornerback, their starting defensive edge rusher, or defensive tackle, I guess I could say here. They got all these guys just downgraded or did not play for 2 straight games or were downgraded from full practice to injured all of a sudden. They're taking them out of the rotation. Curtis Samuel, again, a receiver on offense, out of the rotation here. This is something to keep watching. And they got other guys here. Christian Holmes, guys, cornerback, still has a concussion, did not practice today. Tyreek Castro Fields, another cornerback, shoulder issue, did not practice today. I talked about Cam Curl with the quad. Samuel with the hamstring, new issue there. Jonathan Allen and Fuller missing practices. This is and did not practice 2 days straight. A lot of these guys are not going to play, guys, and it's just be resting them. Jacoby Brissett with the quarterback with the hamstring was limited yesterday. Today, full practice. Yet they're saying Sam Howell will be the quarterback. I'm starting to think maybe that's going to. I just don't trust this. I can see them switching it up and putting Jacoby Brissett. Well, we practicing for Sam Howell. Watch them throw Brissett in there. They might pull that. You got Quan Martin, defensive back, with a chest injury. He was limited yesterday. Today, full practice. Good news for him, trying to get back in the rotation there. Ridgeway was still limited, so we might not see him in this game. I'm sure if he's able to play, he's one of the guys that will play because he's not really a starter. You got Benjamin St. Just, which is a starting cornerback for them. Concussion yesterday was limited. Today, full practice. So good news, he will be practicing. It looks like he'll be there this game for them. Casey Toohill, an edge rusher with a shoulder issue. Yesterday was full practice. Today, all of a sudden, limited. He's their starter. And Andrew Wiley, tackle, limited in practice back-to-back days. I'm hearing he's going to probably miss this game with the elbow. So a lot of guys...
That's pretty much anybody who had even a halfway decent shot of contributing.
Everybody's banged up and hurt for this commie team. So, our offense against this defense, we're going to discuss that in a moment. I do want to say one last part of the breakdown here, which I'm going to actually do first before we get to some comments from our Cowboys and some thoughts about this defense we're going to see on Sunday. But let me start it off, and I don't know I hope he's still here. Yeah, of course, he's kicking that ball. Boom. It's Brandon Aubrey, baby. Talk about special teams against Washington real quick. First off, when it comes to the Pro Bowl, Brandon Aubrey is one of 5 rookies that made the Pro Bowl this year. Puka Nacua at receiver, Marvin Mims Jr. with the Broncos, Sam Laporta, tight end, we know him, with the Lions, Devin Witherspoon, and then Brandon Aubrey, of course, the rookie Pro Bowlers. Brandon Aubrey, will he go the entire season without missing a single field goal? I'm not going to would. 35-35. If he makes it through this last game without missing a field goal, he will join 9 other kickers that have done that, ever performed such a feat of never missing a field goal for the entire year. The last kicker to do that was Mason Crosby in 2020. Justin Tucker, who is one of the greatest kickers currently playing, has a single-season high record of 97% of field goals made. Commander place kicker Joey Sly has missed 3 extra points and 5 field goals this year. Just some ideas how we compare to them. Their kicker, Joey Sly, missing 3 extra points again and 5 field goals. So their kicking situation is far from good. But our kicking situation, obviously, fantastic. So knock on wood. If he gets 3 kicks and makes all 3 of them, he breaks the all-time record for being perfect, but also the most kicks being perfect in a full season. While, by the way, he has 9 kicks from 50 plus. Gary Anderson and Vanderjet had like 2 and 1 from 50. We had 9 from him already at this point. So, Brandon Aubrey sitting pretty there as far as special teams is concerned. Now, there's also other special teams guys like Brian Anger, who is Pro Bowler as well, dominating. Brian Anger out-punting the Commanders punter, Trey West. Anger is averaging 51.4 yards per punt. It's an average hang time, how high that ball, how long it stays in the air, of over 4.5 seconds, 4.56 seconds. Tress Way is averaging only 46 yards. That's 5 less per punt than Anger. And the hang time is about 4.3 seconds, almost 0.3 of a second less, which is a big difference when you look at that. Now, on punt returns, of course, we know Kevontae Turpin hasn't done much, but we know he can, but he just has to fair catch a lot of balls, basically. So on punt returns, neither of these teams are doing anything. Turpin is averaging only 6.3 yards per return, and Jamison Crowder, their fourth-string receiver, he's their punt returner, kick returner. He's getting about 7.9 yards per return, doing a little better than you can say than Kevontae Turpin, I guess you could say, in that situation. So that's the special team side. So bye-bye, Brandon Aubrey. Now we're going to talk some offense versus their defense. And I know you got some people to speak on here, like Dak Prescott. I know he made his appearance today in front of all the press, and so he's facing these commies. What's it looking like going forward? I don't know if he talked about La'el Collins, but I know he had a lot of comments today. He spoke.
He did, but he started off by being asked, does it feel good to go from having the discussion last year where you had like all these picks to this year where obviously you were like in MVP discussions and things like that, leading the NFL possibly in touchdown passes? He said, no, not really. At this time last year, I knew this is who I am, just as I talked about then. Some things were tough. Balls weren't going exactly the way I wanted to. Some crazy bounces here and there, some tight throws that weren't working in my favor. Then your occasional bad interception, which is still happening this year. For me, just about staying true to myself, keep working, and not allow other people's opinions, critics really, affect my game and the way that I approach this. As far as his Pro Bowl nod, he said that's great, it's awesome. Honorable, I guess you could say in that sense. But we've got a very big team goal that we're all focused on. Proud of those guys, especially guys first time. But we want more than this.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I like the fact that no one's trying to take away from the Pro Bowl or even the excitement of these guys who are experiencing their first Pro Bowl and enjoying the the good feelings that come with that, right? But
any bonuses on the contracts.
The team is focused on something else. He said it. It's just about focusing. We understand the magnitude of this game and what it means. Winning the division, having the home field. But the last thing you do is focus on that when the whistle blows or any time after the national anthem, honestly.
Agree.
You've got to understand where you are and make that be the fuel to your preparation all throughout the week, which has already started. We honestly wrap things up over the next day or so. And he also said, just got to go out there and play the game that we know we can play. On the road, which would be important, just taking a bunch of confidence into this playoff game out of this. I
100% agree. You want to get this as build it up a little bit, the mindset you can beat a team at home. Again, if they play their backups, then how much can you really take out of it?
Exactly.
But a win is a win, and if we get the second seed, I don't give a fuck. Let's get that second seed.
And yes, no one was more happy on La'el Collins other than Mr. Dak Prescott to see him back in the building. He said it's great. Just talking about friends away from here, that's one of the guys. I think a lot of these guys are, but La'el, he's always been that way. We know it's true. Like I said, we've always seen them. We've always seen them hanging out in the off season, fishing together, chilling together, right? And as soon as Dak said that, like I said, he kind of turned to his right, realized Collins was right there, and then Dak said, "Oh," and he gives me a wink and starts laughing. He's always been a friend. He's been brother. Excited for him to be back. I know how much he wants this. I know how much he's going to offer this team. It's exciting. I know he's going to do his job at the highest level, and he's not going to let anybody mess with me. So I'm always a fan of that.
They're best buddies. So a comfortable fit for La'el Collins there with Dak Prescott, of course.
Like I said, it does feel like a natural home for La'el. And, Dak Prescott also had to show some love to someone else on the offense, Mr. Sedarius Lamb.
Boom.
He was kind of asked, what do you think about him being an elite receiver this year? Dak said, or when do you think that CD became an elite receiver this year? Dak said from the day he showed up. I think he's emerged as maybe the best receiver in the league at this point.
And you know what?
Some very high praise.
Some people are saying that. Some people are saying that. Let me say a couple of things about CeeDee Lamb real quick, baby. I know he spoke today, right?
He did, actually. I have his comments next.
First of all, on Madden, just after the week he had and this game, I think he should be Offensive Player of the Week for the NFL. But his Madden numbers overall, he went up a point. He's now 96 rating. Pretty damn good for Mr. CeeDee Lamb. His agility went up as well, one on Madden to 94. His awareness went up 1 point to 98, and his deep route running went up 1 point to 94. So you want to use CeeDee Lamb on your team if you're repping that star. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb's the man. Now, when it comes to other accolades from this big week he had, this big game he had against Detroit, Panini, the card company Panini, they have a brand new football card for the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, celebrating his performance against the Detroit Lions, where he set the Cowboys franchise records for most receptions, which was formerly held by Michael Irvin, and receiving yards, which was formerly held by Michael Irvin, both of these in a single season. So again, those two things, the Madden accolade, but you know what? Let's look at the real numbers of things. Who's the number one receiver right now in the NFL as far as yardage? Like receiving yardage? It is Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
And CeeDee Lamb's just like 70 yards back on him, which is amazing when he was like 150 yards back last week. But of course, we know that our CeeDee Lamb had a huge game, 227, right, and 12 catches. So when you look at the yardage, though, over the last two seasons, only two guys have a combined, in 2 seasons together, right, receiving yardage over 3,000 yards. Only 2 players are doing this, and Tyreek Hill is one of them. 3,427 yards in 2 years since 2020. So 2020, I guess
it's hard to do.
I guess the last 3 years it would be, right, because 2022, 2023. I guess no, it's 2 years. 2022 season, 2023 season. Tyreek Hill.
Kind of see why Miami's willing to overlook some shit, huh?
Yeah, I mean, over 3,400 yards. But the only other guy to do this is the guy on your screen. No, not Daniel Snyder or Stalin. It's CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb with 3,010 yards. The only 2 players that have gotten over 3,000 yards over the last 2 seasons combined. And if you look at this year, who's the leader in scrimmage yards in the entire NFL? It's this guy you're looking at right here.
Nice.
So, yeah, you're talking about the best receiver in the NFL. It's Tyreek Hill and CeeDee Lamb. There's no question on that anymore. It's not A.J. Brown. It's not Justin Jefferson with the freaking gritty. It's none of that shit. It's CD, baby. That's what it is. So what does CeeDee Lamb have to say today, baby, when it comes to, all these accolades, but also this game against Washington and going forward into the playoffs.
Well, like you kind of just mentioned, CD was asked if he feels like this is the year that's going to eventually get him, that kind of number one receiver paycheck, right? Mm-hmm. He said, ideally, yeah, for sure. At the end of it all, I got a goal in mind, and that's to get a ring. At the end of that, then we'll start talking about everything else. I'm focused on this, and then we'll get on that.
Like it.
So, adding in there as well that, Irving actually congratulated him after breaking the record, and added in there that he said, now it's time to go chase a ring. It was basically the end of his message. Obviously, I'm with that. That's always been my end goal.
Remember, Michael Irvin said, I want this young man to break my record and get the feeling of winning a Super Bowl, because that's when I did it. I broke the records for the Cowboys, and then I won a Super Bowl that year, too.
We're hopefully on track, right?
Hopefully.
So, CD also was asked, who would you pick as the Offensive Player of the Year? So he said, well, of course I'd include myself, kind of in a very, funny, joking way. Then he said, quote, but Christian McCaffrey, he deserves it. He's been doing a great job. Obviously, I've just seen he's sitting out right now, the way that he's been playing 2,000 yards with 20-something touchdowns. So, just acknowledging what an elite football player.
Yeah. And by the way, I forgot to say that when I say scrimmage yards, he's leading the league for receivers. I don't think he's beaten McCaffrey in scrimmage yards. But,
I don't think so.
But he has more scrimmage yards than every receiver in the NFL, including Tyreek Hill. So
there you go. So that was actually CD's last little kind of blurb and comment here before we turn things over to Zach Martin.
With the O-line in the house?
Yes, it is. A very O-line centered day today.
I'll just throw up Lel Collins to speak. What did Zach Martin say?
Zach Martin said this as far as being honored to another Pro Bowl, right? He said, it's cool. And at some point, I'll look back on some of the things I've accomplished. But it's about trying to keep a level head this time of the year and trying to make a run down the stretch. You wanted to be able to control your own destiny, and we have an opportunity to do that this year. A lot of guys in the locker room were a part of that game last season and have that sour taste in our mouths. I don't think anyone's taking this game lightly. We talked about it all week. The playoffs start for us this week. It's a must-win for us, so we can get ourselves some home games and make a push in the postseason.
Hey, that's as real as it gets right there as far as the need. There's Zach Martin. You know what I'm saying? As far as, Pro Bowl is nice, but it's what we're going to do here in the playoffs what matters. And that second seed available, it's really hyping up the Cowboys, room. They're getting this second win, from the possibility of getting the second seed and really having a chance at home, which they're very confident about. The players and the coaches confident about playing at home, right? So this adds to it the fact that it's right there for the taking. What else does Zach Martin say?
He said, and he threw this out there as far as obviously being set up, thanks to a little help from our Arizona friends, as far as being in the chance to get that second seed. He said, quote, it was great to get some help there from a division foe, but we've got to take care of what we can control. And what we can control is going into Washington and playing a complete game and solidifying that number 2 seed. So, with that said, that was pretty much it from our football players, at least on the official quote side of things.
Yeah, so we're all caught up on that, huh? All done?
Yeah.
That's what everyone said in the locker room. And now, as you see our offense and some of the things we have to do, let's talk about the Washington defense for a quick minute. And, these are the guys that Zach Martin and others are going to have to go up against when it comes to that defensive front line, which used to be fucking great. Now it's like, They lost Montez Sweat and Chase Young, and they traded them away before the trade deadline. So when you look at inside with Biotish, whoever's going to be running that left guard spot, I don't know yet. TJ Bass, I guess. And you got Zach Martin on the right guard spot. They're going to be going up against, interiorly, they're going to go up against some real good players still. A good player definitely on the inside there. And, you can see right there, it's number 94, Daron Payne. He's a pain in the ass. Now, they also have Jonathan Allen, of course, inside. He's missed 2 practices. And I don't think the Washington's ready to play him. So, again, Ridgeway's banged up. So, Fedarian Mathis has a chance to play in there. And so does Ridgeway if Jonathan Allen takes a dip inside. And that's a big dip for them when it comes to You know, their ability to control the offensive line of scrimmage and try to control the what do you call it, the trenches against our offensive line. They lose Jonathan Allen. It's a big drop off. Daron Payne though is going to be tough. That's going to be a matchup to definitely watch. And then when you look at, of course there's Dak. We're going to be repping it looking like that. But the outside pass rushers, James Smith-Williams, number 96, is out there. And on the other side is Casey Toohill, which used to be with the Eagles, now with the Washington. The important thing is that he's also banged up, and he got downgraded today. They got 2 rookies behind them, KJ Henry, Andre Jones Jr. So what's this deal with the Commander defense, their run defense? Which, by the way, their run defense, we talked about their run offense. That's their best quality on offense, and that's like 18th. Their best quality on defense, it's like 17th, the run defense. So we don't really run that much. So if that's their best quality and they're only average, then we should have a big advantage here. The Cowboys, Commanders game, their crown jewel used to be their defensive line. But now this year, that's all changed, and they're diminished on the defensive line. The only veteran players left, like I said earlier, Daron Payne, number 94, and of course, number 93, Jonathan Allen, who is really banged up, and I don't know who he's going to play this week. So leading the team in pressures and in sacks is that Jonathan Allen. So remember, guys, number 93, he is dangerous. Did not practice, though, this week, and all signs pointed to him not playing. We'll see what happens. Maybe tomorrow he'll be full go and ready to go. And I could see that Washington doing that shit and playing this game. But either way, he leads the team in sacks and pressures. If he plays, inside's going to have to hold that down. Since week 11, right now, actually, let me rephrase that. Right now, he is 6th in total sacks and ranks. He has 6 total sacks right now. So even as he's leading the Washington team in pressures and in sacks with 6, it sucks. He's 71st among all defensive linemen in the NFL. Since week 11, both of these defensive tackles have only combined for 2 sacks. So no pressure coming from 94 and 93. And now with number 93 having being banged up, and Jonathan Allen now looking like he's not going to be able to play this game, that means only Daron Payne, number 94, is their biggest issue inside. When you look at the edges, banged up Casey Toohill is struggling to create consistent pressure this season. And on the other side is James Smith-Williams, who has been struggling and only has 1 sack this year. So their defensive line is, since week 11, it's been trash. But the whole year it's been kind of crappy, even with their best players out there. So they're struggling on that defensive line. We are, hopefully going to, we might not have Tyler Smith this game, and outside of that, we should be good to go, knock on wood. So all this together here, when it comes to their defensive front, has meant that the Washington Commanders have generated the 6th fewest sacks on defense this season. They're the 6th worst, guys. They're the 7th most rush yards allowed. This year for them has led their defense to allowing an average of 30 points per game. So their defense, even though their defense can stop the run, that's their best quality, they still allow it. They're still like 7th worst in the NFL. That is pitiful for Washington. So they're in big, deep shit. And as far as stopping the run, that's their best quality, but they're not that good at it. As far as, getting sacks on the quarterbacks and creating pressure, they get a little pressure. They get a sack or 2. The 6th fewest in the NFL when it comes to sacks. So their defensive line is complete fucking trash. Let me just be real. The only matchup I'm going to watch here, and we'll talk about this more in the week, I just have a quick statement about it, is TJ Bass. Number 66 got to play that Tyler Smith role. That him and Biotish got to be able to handle number 94. And if Jonathan Allen plays number 93. We'll talk about that later in the week. But my friends, that is where I think we're going to have to look at, if there's any problems on that line, it's going to come from the inside. All right? It's kind of a known thing here. So, now I do want to also do a quick little shout out here for someone named Smokey. In the Cash App, dropping that $10 holler. Woo. So much love to Smokey, JR Production. You guys know who he is. He's got a couple different names, but this is our New York Smokey in the house. Appreciate you dropping that $10 holler. And hey, getting a chance to win a jersey from Cowboys Mosh here. You got a 1 out of 4 chance in the more raffles. the more chances you have, right? But Mr. Smokey's in this thing with a $10 holler. Appreciate you, man. And I'd read his message. I'd read it if it was more pro-Cowboy, but let me read it with a pro-Cowboys taste to it. He said, for the Cowboys to win. Go Cowboys!
Ooh, I like that.
Thank you, Smokey. Appreciate that. So he's up on that board. Hit up again. I'm going to run to the linebackers here in a minute as I update this thing.
Of course. So and Smokey is cracking up a little bit in the chat because he was like, read the note.
I read it. Go Cowboys! Thank you for that.
Remember, we have a filter on our microphone that filters other teams' names when you say things like that. Automatically translates it to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
right?
we can't. It just is not our fault, man. That's the way that the microphone is set up.
So, Double R, take it easy. Be safe out there on your flight. Much love. Always go Cowboys. Delutic saying the Commodes are going.
The Commodes, I like that.
They're going to fire everyone after the game.
Very well may have to fire them. There'll be some firings going on after this game. We shall see. I know we shall see right there. Mr. Mark Hovsepian, if I'm not mistaken, dropping that 5 on it and getting closer and closer. It looks like I'm going to have to check the numbers. To second place on the board, earning halfway, I think, through another membership raffle entry. Yeah. So, again, much love to Mr. Mark Hovsepian. Baby, what did the man say?
He said, this team is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yep. That's the issue. Only 2 teams are better than us, Baltimore and San Francisco. The question is, what team will show up? It's simple. Washington sucks dick. Yeah,
no, so against Washington, it better be. I think Dr. Jekyll will be good in this one. But yeah, I know what you mean. Mr. Hyde comes out, and we should again, on the road, though, division rival, I don't know why, but there's no reason why we should even have an issue in this game if we're a real deal team. And then listen, in the end, if we still fuck up and kind of take into the third or fourth quarter, then it is what it is. This team, I just want them to win and get that second seed. You just never know. You got to go on a 4-game win streak and 2 at home. It's a Super Bowl, right? Anyone can kind of go on a route like that. But as far as giving the Cowboys the best chance to win, and the best chance, let me put it this way, Mark, what's the best chance for the Cowboys being Dr. Jekyll? The best chance for the Cowboys to win games, even against the good teams, because now it's going to be a lot of good teams. We've beaten 3 good teams at home. So where's the right, to me, the best chance to have Dr. Jekyll come out in this team is at home against the best teams at home. Now we can't do that against San Fran if we earn that right. But hey, they might falter. We never know, right? And they might have a bad day, and it's in our house. Against like Detroit or the Eagles. I'll take it to go to the Super Bowl. That's what we want, a chance, right? No one's guaranteed shit. You want a best chance to get up to the Super Bowl. This is one of those paths. So to me, second seed is so important to get the home field. That's 2 Dr. Jekyll games. And then, let's make the Niners look like Mr. Hyde. And that gets into the Super Bowl, you never know. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Right? So it's just a chance of getting there. And our chances go from, like, in my mind, fucking 0% if we're the 5th seed. Okay, I'll say 1% if we're the 5th seed, to like the chances go up to like 60%, 50% if we're that second seed. That's a big jump. What do you think about that, baby?
I mean, obviously, that would be a huge jump here.
Real
quick.
Marco Sepian's comment.
Rolling back there. Yeah, I mean, we've kind of said it. This team absolutely plays in 2 very different fashions. Depending on whether they're home or on the road. I think Zach Martin kind of commented on it earlier, too. The importance of, winning this game on the road in order to be able to have that home field advantage. Because, yeah, that could mean the difference between a deeper postseason run or not. Like, let's be real. You do need a little bit of luck when it comes to trying to get further along in the playoffs and the postseason. And sometimes, like, the small bit of luck we need might just be, hey, can we play our games at home where we clearly play better? If the answer to that can be yes, I mean, we're already in like a million times better position than we could have ever possibly asked for. So, and obviously for our team, it feels like that's even more impactful than maybe for a few others. So, let me kind of keep touching on some of the comments. So, the Lunatic, yeah, it's a very high quality mic, right? He said, team, here we go. We'll show up Sunday. Cowboys Nation will make it a home game at the Commanders' home field. We've done that now for the last, 3-4 years. I know we've done it before, but especially recently. It feels like it basically is just a glorified AT&T Stadium game on the road, right? So, their field wasn't so shitty. I would say it was. Let me see. Asmodeus said, "You should never say another team is better than you. I don't give a damn what." I mean, right now there's 2 teams that you could definitely rank above us, and we can't really say anything about it. That's the Niners and the Ravens. So I do think that we can beat either of those teams, and we're probably going to have to beat both teams, maybe, possibly, depending on what happens in the future, right? So, just throwing that out there. Oh, cracking me up, Smoke. When she talks about the Cowboys, I want them to win. When MCF talks about the Cowboys, I want them to lose. Oh, so, not sure if that person's going live, Marissa. I'll have to wait for Mr. MCF to rejoin us.
Right there. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't know who AD is. So,
Not sure.
I can't answer that question. Anyway,
I don't know Dominic.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who that is. So, anyway, kind of rolling back a little bit more here. I think we kind of touched. I'm pretty sure I answered your point there, Mark. So again, Cowboys, just do your fucking job this Sunday. Everything else will thankfully almost kind of sort of take care of itself. So
Comes to the second seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the playoffs we gotta beat.
I'll let Mr. MCF sit down and say his own comments here instead of trying to pass them through me, the third party.
Okay.
So, but no, I've already touched on.
Perfect. I'm back in time. Back in time. Sorry about it, guys. I had to make a quick pit stop. But if we got some of the comments, you got everything? We're good? Then we're good. Let's keep it rolling, I guess.
Do you happen to know who AD is?
No.
Okay.
I don't
Marissa, I don't know who AD
Let me
is.
see.
I don't think Mr. MCF knows who AD is.
Oh, After Dark, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not doing the After Dark tonight, but somebody else can definitely go live, and I'll jump on there for a little bit and chill if you guys want, but I see Crooklyn Smoke here, which is, of course, Smokey.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard his comment. He said, when I talk about the Cowboys, he wants the Cowboys to win. When you talk about them, he wants them to lose. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Go Cowboys. Well, hey, for the last couple of minutes, you've been talking
Always
about you've been wanting the Cowboys to win, so I hear you. Let's finish talking about this thing. We'll wrap it up here tonight. When we look at the linebackers for the Washington Commanders, they got names you don't know who the fuck they are, probably, because they lost their starter earlier in the year. They have Cody Barton and Kalecki Hudson. Both these guys, are their starters inside. They got David Mayo, who also plays like a strong linebacker spot, I think. Again, guys, former Giant, so he's familiar. But when you look at their three linebackers, the Commander linebacking group has dropped off. You don't see them on the screen here because their main starter drafted a couple years ago, Jamin Davis, he got put on IR, so he's out for this game, of course. And then you got Cody Barton, who, again, is not bad at open field chasing down the running back situation. He can, we don't really run enough to really make him a factor or not, so he can be great if he wants to be. He's good at that. But he's not a guy that is really going to, stuff a hole. That sounds really bad. But he's not going to get in the gap and then, hold the line there. He's going to break. He's going to have to pick a side, and he's going to probably miss. So when it comes,
we only want guys who can stuff the hole.
Well, that's the thing. We don't want them stuffing the hole. We want them fucking up.
Okay.
I get it. I know. We want them not stuffing. But the thing is, that's their issues. They have problems at kind of making it difficult for running backs to have difficulty going through that first level of the defensive line and the second level. So again, guys, not a strong type of linebacker is basically my point here. As far as Kalecki Hudson, he's had to take up a bigger role since Davis has been gone, and he's been a starter the last 4 weeks. So trying to improve, but again, he's missed 5 tackles in those 4 weeks, which is not good. He has
rough spot to be
in coverage. He has 22 targets against him, but he's allowed 17 catches. So That's a pretty bad percentage of completions allowed against you. So when you want to attack this Washington team, it's through the ground. You can run a little bit. We're not even that great on the ground. But we'd rather attack in the air, in the passing game, and trying to attack with Ferguson, a tight end, against their linebacking core. They got a lot of weaknesses there, guys. They're being forced to kind of they're okay at stopping the run here and there, but their biggest issue is they don't have a good, solid, consistent defensive line. So when you don't have a defensive line that can kind of hold up the running game a little bit and help you out, no, our offensive linemen should be coming down in the second level and taking out these linebackers and giving Pollard and others runs of 5-6 yards a pop sometimes. So, they have a weak linebacking core because of their defensive line stopping the run, and they have a weak linebacking core because they're not very good in coverage. So, talk about the defensive line. They don't really have pressure. They don't really get sacks. They have no, they don't really, they're average at stopping the run. So they're broken down all over on defense. And then when you talk about again, one of the keys we're going to have to discuss is Dak Prescott versus number 13 and the rest of this very weekend. Washington Commander secondary. They're beat up. We talked about some of the injuries already, but when you look at, who's in this game for them, they got, Benjamin St-Juste, who is looking like he's going to play, but he's been banged up. Behind him is number 13, Emmanuel Forbes, who's going to have to step up to play for Kendall Fuller, who missed back-to-back practices. Unless he's super miracle tomorrow, he's back in practice. He probably won't play either. Just like we talked about, Jonathan Allen missing 2 practices in a row. So Kendall Fuller missing 2 practices, not looking good for him, and he is their right side corner. So you got to see Emmanuel Forbes jumping in that spot, number 13, the rookie, first-round pick. So, again, I'll talk about him in a minute, but these are the guys they have out there. They got nickel cornerback Quan Martin, who's banged up as well, but he's kind of, again, been practicing limited-wise. They got Kai Blue Kelly, formerly of Green Bay, if you know the name, but he's one of their backups. He's their backup nickel cornerback. They got Tyreek Castro-Fields, a guy who's probably not going to play tomorrow. On game day, on Sunday. So you're seeing 3 guys injured here, 1 guy already out for the year, that are not going to play as they're just talking about cornerbacks. And I'm talking about depth and starters. They are banged up to shit. So Emmanuel Forbes, number 13, is kind of like their best guy left. At safety, they got 2 safeties. They don't have a backup safety. They probably elevate a guy. But Terrell Burgess is their free safety. And then Cameron Curl, who's their best kind of safety back there, strong safety, number 31. He got downgraded to practice yesterday, full practice today, out of practice, not looking like he's going to play this game. So when you look at this group, the defensive backs, their secondary, the common theme for them is injuries. Both starting cornerbacks, Benjamin St-Juste and Kendall Fuller, questionable for the game. Probably, for this game. We'll find out tomorrow what they're going to be, but I think Kendall Fuller is going to probably be ruled out if that's a real injury he's got or a real resting situation. And St-Juste is going to be a guy that is going to be, I think he's trending to play, but he's still not going to be 100%. They're both questionable to play this weekend. That's 2 out of the 3 starters. He missed last week's game with Kendall Fuller, I think, missed. They both missed last week's game against the Niners because of the same injuries, and their availability for this week is really unknown. So we'll have to wait and see. Tomorrow will be truly kind of the answers to some of these guys' injuries. And the backup corners, TCF as they call them, but Tyreek Castro-Fields and Christian Holmes are also questionable for this game. I mean, Castro-Fields probably won't play this game. Christian Holmes, we'll have to wait and see, but they're questionable after they left last game early last week with injuries. Against the Niners, usually get banged up. We got Marissa Sparkle in the house and in the membership.
Woo.
With the bonus membership raffle. That's 2 on it already for Marissa Sparkle, who gets a chance, as we said earlier, and I'm sure I don't know if she knows, but you're in the raffle, Marissa. Not the star level raffle. Let me fix that.
Although you are technically in that one.
True, you are in the star level raffle, of course. But the special, it says 4 prize raffle, but it's 4 jerseys. You can win 1 of 4 jerseys here. Some Cowboy Moss jerseys, you know the deal. Sewn and stitched, many players, many generations, new and old, many different styles, colors, sizes, the whole deal. Men, women, children. We have like 30 different jerseys in this household, and I think it's like 40 or more to pick from. Any team, if you're not a Cowboy fan. Mm-hmm. Any sport, if you want to get something up and change it up. Cowboy Mosh, much love to him, repping these jerseys. And it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. Each person will win a jersey here at My Cowboys Family. It'll be for the playoff game against the wild card at halftime. So much love to the Lunatic for making this happen. 4-jersey raffle. It's how do you get in? $10 per entry. Unlimited entries. It improves your chances to win one of these 4 jerseys. Membership bonus raffle entry like Marissa. She's in it. And she'd get a bonus once you hit the 10 on it. So thank you, Marissa, for that. And as always, go Cowboys. And as we said here, it's sewn and stitched. Great quality stuff. Can't wait to see our 4 winners.
Now, normally I would read the comment in the super chat message, but it was actually specifically a request that you read this comment and read it out loud because I don't think I have the proper accent for it. the right inflection for the words that we're looking for here.
I'm looking forward to see this. Where is it, baby? What I got to do? Hold on.
You know what Marissa said. Scroll back, you'll see it.
Puta madre. I love the way she spelled it, though. Oh. Puta madre. Yes, she said she loves the Cowboys. Fuck Philly. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I think she's trying to say that that's what Philly is.
Oh,
Puta
yeah.
Madre.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Puta madre. The Philadelphia Eagles.
I figured that you'd appreciate that one. By the way, shout out to 6'8's wife. Happy birthday to her.
Yes.
Appreciate you, 6'8", for hanging here, and appreciate her for also giving her thoughts behind the scenes as well.
Hey, it's great. I appreciate everybody repping that star with us here, talking Cowboy football, or just saying Puta Madre.
And
that's fine, too.
I don't want no scrubs. The same. Oh. Anyway, back to you. What's up, Dirty South Pioneer? Just want to make sure we do a few shout-outs here. Smodius also said, you don't limp into the playoffs or any other games thinking someone else is better than you, and you don't throw that negativity out in the universe.
Well, again, this team gotta go in there and make this happen. You just can't hope it happens,
saying
right?
That it's like almost psychological. Like it's almost irrelevant what's true or not. Mm-hmm. It's about the psychological aspect of like you got to tell your team that they are the best, and we have to like almost will that and instill that upon them because they will rise to that occasion. If you tell them no, there's teams out there that can beat them, it's almost like you're putting it in their mind like, oh, I can be beat, and then you almost end up confidence. It almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Say you follow the it's self-fulfilling prophecy is exactly what I was going to say, and you start to kind of accept that it creeps into your mind as it's a possibility now.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, and Meatball Ron saying Dak is going to fold MCF.
My crew's in the house. No, he's not. No,
I was going to say, I disagree. I mean,
Meatball
Dak,
Ron,
mentally speaking, has never been tougher or more battle-tested. If he didn't fold as a freaking rookie heading into things, and he hasn't folded in that sense, right? Like, he's had some poor performances, sure. But mentally speaking, he's always been able to hang with the best of them. Now that his mind and his body and our offense all seem to be, if not necessarily always on the same page, then at least reading the same book, man, what a difference maker. So,
agree.
Yeah, I gotta disagree with that one. Meatball
Ron. He was on TV today.
Delunatic saying, we're not sleeping on the commodes, but we're putting them to sleep on Sunday. Poodle, pinche Cowboys.
Poodle, pinche Cowboys. You know it. Go Cowboys.
Yeah, and, it's funny because I guess one kind of little prediction now that we kind of suspect that Washington might be benching
a lot of veterans.
Anyone who could contribute.
Yeah, so, the veterans are starters.
With that said, if you are Mike McCarthy, if you have the ability to control this, but remember, we still have to actually win the game. How long do you keep our starters out there? Because as long as our starters do what they're supposed to do, we should be finishing up the first quarter 21-0. But
if we want to be most efficient,
I think that's a little ambitious. Listen, so my point is, by halftime, I'd like the ability to be able to rest our starters. 28
to 31 points by halftime. That would kind of say, okay, we can maybe go out one more quarter, waste a little time, and then start bringing in the backups a little bit. Generally speaking, you don't want to ever give it up. So I don't know. You go as long as you have to go, but you got to secure the win. It's a playoff game. Would you bench your guys or sit them in a playoff game, even if you're up 31 to 3 in the third? I'd wait a little longer. You know what I mean? So you kind of got to keep it that
halftime.
Way. That's going to be tough. Even if we're winning 40-0, it's tough sometimes to just allow it. But yeah, I know what you mean.
look, at most, maybe like the first offensive drive coming back from halftime, you see the offense.
Yeah,
and
go
then
into a run mode and
them.
just take like 6 minutes off the clock. Then you can just rest the rest of the crew there after that. Anyways, let me get to this, baby, and finish up so we can do the last couple of comments and then say goodnight. But the Commanders secondary, again, I just named all of them they had there. I'm talking about safeties and corners. And again, injuries are the biggest issue for them. Their backups and their starters are all banged up. And most of them probably won't play. They're going to be left with like 2 or 3 cornerbacks in the game. Christian Holmes, Tyreek Castro-Fields, both left the game early last week against the Niners. Always a tough matchup. They always get physical, and you end up getting hurt. And that's what happened to their backup corners who have to lift the game. And they also placed their starting safety. He's not even on the list because he's on injured reserve last week. He was put on there. So their starting safety is Percy Butler. He's out for the year. They only have 2 safeties left on their active roster. They'll have to probably move someone up. And then also, when it comes to cornerback, who's the guy that's going to take over? And that's why, guys, I had to dig deep because there's really nobody at corner they have that I can put on the screen that I know is going to play, except for number 13, Emmanuel Forbes, and another rookie, Caillou Kelly. Those are the guys they'll have available at cornerback to replace one or both of their starters. This should be Dak Prescott, easy pickings. They don't get a pass rush. They're not gonna get sacks. You can attack them in the run game even to some extent, but you can definitely attack them at their linebackers or at their defensive backs when you pass the ball. As long as you get the blocking going on, and again, they don't get many sacks. So when you add it all together, the Cowboys' offense should dominate this Washington defense. We talked about the defense yesterday. Should control easily this Washington offense. So guys, I mean, this should be a fucking blowout if we are a team that's serious about trying to make a run in the playoffs and for that 6 and beyond. So when you look at the guys left for them in coverage, Emmanuel Forbes, he ranks second on the team in receiving yards allowed and is allowing the highest passer rating against anybody. So he's horrible out there. Rookie, first rounder, but nonetheless still having issues, and he's going to have to start for them, while Caillou Kelly has yet to play a snap yet on defense the entire season, only special teams. So those are their starters at corner? Come on, guys. Nothing, not the rain, snow, sleet, nothing, hail, nothing, no weather should stop us from fucking dominating this Washington defense. I'm not overlooking it. It's not a trap game. I'm looking at this as a playoff game, and this is the most lopsided playoff game I've ever seen in matchups. If this was a real playoff game, this would be I don't even know what to say. It's not even possible because this is not a playoff team, Washington. They are a scrub team, second worst right now in the NFL. So we should tear them a new asshole. Just plain and fucking simple. Plain and simple. The Commanders secondary is beaten up. A lot of question marks to replace, and a lot of question marks. Some guys that might still miss games, and those that replace them, bigger question marks. Injured, if they do play, anybody who plays is going to have injuries already in this game at cornerback, and they're going to be whatever they were before. They're going to be at least a little bit worn down because they're not 100%. So Washington's secondary in trouble. Their linebackers not good at stopping the run because of their defensive line. They are horrible against the pass, and the defensive line, who's usually been really great at stopping the run and getting pass rush, missing 2 of their main guys by trading them away back in October, equals a lot of issues for this defensive front since week 11. Horrible, the worst, one of the worst in the league. So we should be able to just completely dominate, destroy this Washington defense. That's all I got to say about that, baby, as old Forrest Gump says. And what's the chat saying about these topics and anything else? Last comments in the house. And, of course, the shout-outs. As you get ready to rep on out of here, I will always, of course, and I have to do this more often. At the bottom right of your screen, you're seeing it. As we get it more ready this week, there's going to be 4 jerseys raffled off at halftime of this game.
That's right, guys. And remember, if you drop $10 or more, bam, you're automatically entered. And that does start, actually, thanks to the man, the Lunatic, and he drops from this week. So we'll be doing all that math here, before we go live again for Fan Friday, hopefully. Yeah,
and also, of course, this raffle's not this weekend.
Of course, it is for next week. I think you already mentioned that, but I'll re-clarify. It is for next week. Everyone, with 4 awesome jerseys up for raffle, although, only 1 jersey per winner.
Yeah. Well, 1 per, right, you get 4 different winners.
Yeah.
Each one will get a jersey, sewn and stitched. new players, old players, like 40 different players to choose from. And really, if you want any other sport, any team,
school,
we got
new
that.
School,
Damn
we
right.
got you.
A lot of styles, sizes. You know the deal. So much love to Cowboy Mosh's jerseys, but extra special love to the Lunatic for making this thing happen. Everyone, thank the Lunatic right now. The Lunatic, the godfather of my Cowboys family.
That's right.
Anyways, there you go, baby. Let's do the shout-outs and those last comments here
Of course.
as before we ride out for the night.
The Lunatic, much love.
Yes.
Jeff Coughlin saying the Cowboys will dominate. Hell. Yeah.
There's no
Agree.
question they should. If they don't dominate, we got problems on this team that are bigger than just can we win against a tough team or can we win on the road.
Yep. 6'8". Appreciate that lovely compliment, but yeah, no plans on striking out outside of the MCF household. So,
Yeah.
Meatball Ron, yeah, well, hopefully Washington is packing their bags, right? Pioneer, much love. Appreciate you coming through.
Their
Marissa
bags are packed.
Sparkle, Asmodeus, Jason Renfro, much love.
Mr. Renfro. We got to talk about these leaders here in a minute.
Dirty South in the house. Just trying to make sure I don't miss anybody.
South.
Like RJ Crooklyn Smoke. Of course, Smoke.
Smokey. I don't know if there's any other, related.
No, we kind of touched on most of the related comments. Everything else will be kind of rolling it back to some other stuff we've already touched on.
Just making
Double
sure.
R representing, of course, Marco Sepian. A big
Yeah.
mahalo to him. Darren Posey, what's up?
Mr. Posey, man, former star level member repping it.
Double R, hello and hi. Orion Files, take it easy. Have a great night.
Orion.
Yeah, it's as far back as I can go, at least on my side here. So, Darren Posey, take it easy. Thanks for joining us here as well.
Yes.
Anonymous ASMR, nice try.
No, he's a
So,
Niner fan, I think. Anyways, guys, as we get ready to roll out of here, I also got to give a big shout out to those who dropped the love from above tonight here. And, of course, shout out those that are repping the boards, right? So, Dwayne Broussard, top dog here with the DAC drop. Jason Renfro with some gifted memberships. We got Marco Sepian in the house, dropping the love and that knowledge. We got Skeptical Fan the Man through Streamlabs and gifting memberships. Tornado dropping some love in the gifting membership side of things. Darren Posey with the love. Rhonda Don Smith with that Tony Pollard holler. Amazing Games getting in the raffle in here along with Smokey as well. Marissa Sparkle also. Oh, hell. You guys are awesome. Thank you all for repping it here. By the way, Jason Renfro, I'm saying his name for a reason. But let me start with the Cash App King. That's SnugX. You know why he is here.
woo.
And he's got it back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys. Will he go for a three-peat? The leader is in his way. And that's Jason Renfro, who's up right now in first place on that side of the board. You look at the Cash App King, the Membership Gifting King. It is Jason Renfro as well. And he's looking to go back-to-back because he's got a lead in there also over guys like Bootzilla and Skeptical Fan and Tornado, who gifted a membership today. So, again, currently, he's not only the champion, the king in the membership gifting side of things, but he's also the leader in there, I think by 2, if I'm not mistaken. And then, if you look at the overall board, Skeptical's in second, Marco Sepian in third, but in first place, it's the same guy, Jason Renfro. 3 out of the 4 boards, but wait, he's not done yet. The Stream Boss. He just took it over tonight, but it's already down to 30 points, but he's still controlling the board. So we got SnugX repping it and others repping it all over the board, but Jason Renfro's coming for the takeover. Maybe that's what our Cowboys need to do, for the next 5 games, right? We got 5 games in us. That's what we need to do to get that 6 and beyond, right? So that's the hope here. That is the hope, baby. I do want to know if no other comments. We're ready to roll out of here. Drop them if you got them, guys. If you're in the membership, make sure you drop all the emojis, the ones your favorite ones. But always love the hateful anti-Washington emojis, and of course some pro-Cowboy emojis. Either way, have fun with that as we rock out of here, baby. But before we can do any of that, why don't you let everybody know why do we do this here every single day and night here for 6 years and 6.5 years and beyond? Why do we do this here in My Cowboys Family?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Good, bad, or ugly.
Win, lose, or draw.
Never forget.
We always rep that star over everything. And here in My Cowboys Family for, like I said, 6.5 years and over and beyond, Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, say it with us. Go Cowboys! You got 5. We got to get that 6 and beyond, and that starts with getting that second seed to give us our best chance currently right now with one game left in the regular season.
And stay safe out there on the road, Thomas.
Yes.
Have fun watching our Cowboys.
Stay safe in this new year. And maybe this new year resolution by the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, maybe let's get that 6. How about them apples? Guys, thank you for dropping your knowledge in the chat. Attached to your drops of love or wherever, but appreciate your guys' drops of knowledge all night long, all week long. Your input is why we're able to do this back and forth thing. So thank you guys for your thoughts on our Cowboys. Also, truly appreciate your drops of love and support from above. As we have ourselves here, Mr. Smokey. A self-joining Smokey, not needing anybody to put him in there and gift him a membership. He said, I'm in. And he's in that navy blue crew. So guess what he gets, baby? He's already got 10 on it. So he's got himself
a bonus entry.
A bonus entry plus halfway. He's 5 away to another raffle entry. That'll put him right now he's at 2, but he's 5 away from a third raffle entry. And we're just heating up right now. We're just getting ready. So again, much love to Mr. Smokey in the house.
At the 11th hour.
My New York brethren, right? But I'm sure we'll be catching up somewhere on the YouTube streets later tonight and having some good discussions. But again, thank you, Mr. Smokey, smoking them out. Jason Renfro goes to 29 points, a little CJ Goodwin flavor for us. Guys, thank you again for rocking with us here. The drops of knowledge, the drops of love from above. Can't do this without your support in all different ways, like you see right there, Smokey in the membership side, joining, just doing it himself, saying Navy Blue Crew, baby. So, baby, before we can wrap it up, clock out and drop out for the night, and relock and reload, because tomorrow we're breaking down some must-win matchups. You don't want to miss that, because that's going to tell you. It's pretty simple, but we're going to break it down for you anyways tomorrow, right here in My Cowboys Family, along with the injury updates and the final injury designations for us and the Washington Commanders, the Commodes, right? So, before we can get on out of here for the night, guys, and I do want to do another shout-out here for Smokey, who dropped another 5 on it in the Cash App, which now puts him, he says, for the raffle. That's a quote there. He said 5 on it, and it's for the raffle. That puts him at 2 self-earned entries plus the bonus entry. That's 3 entries for Mr. Smokey for one of those 4 jerseys. And yes, Smokey, I don't know if you want the Cowboys, but it is any team and really any sport. You want your New York Knicks, you get a Knicks jersey if you want, per Cowboy Mosh. But you got to win it. You one out of the 4 winners. Good luck to you. And go Cowboys. Appreciate you, Smokey. And we'll get caught up later, I'm sure, somewhere today or another couple of days. I'm sure we'll cross paths. Our paths will cross. But much love to you and everybody else in the chat here. Hitting that like, subscribe, and notification bell as we get out of here and relock and reload for the must-win matchups tomorrow and how we're going to win this game. It should be easy, but we got to dominate it. Baby, before we can drop out of here for the night, tell them what we got to do.
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat's been dropped here in My Cowboys Family. Yeah, we got 5, but we got to get that 6 and beyond. Guys, once again, appreciate you all taking your time out to join us here in this little space on YouTube. And wrapping up another Cowboys chat. Yes, it was a good one. Some decent news around the board here. We talked mainly about our offense versus their defense. We got a couple issues of injury, but damn, they're fucked up. Hopefully we'll have our best guys on the field healthy. And in the end of this game, knocking on wood with a win, also no injuries entering the playoffs. That's going to be major. As hopefully we get the second seed wrapped up and we get home field advantage for at least 2 games if we make it that far, and at most maybe the whole playoffs into the Super Bowl. Go Cowboys. You know what we want. That 6 and beyond. And here on MCF, it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone, even the haters. We love you all. Appreciate you all here tonight with us. Don't forget to hit that like button for the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that notification bell. Make sure it's set to all videos. You know when we're going live. You can also know we're going live through Discord or at My Cowboys Family on all social media, including X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Guys, have a great rest of your night, morning, tomorrow. We'll see you back here again tomorrow night. Take care. Stay safe. Peace. And never, ever forget, you know what's coming. Go Cowboys!